Meteorologist Matt Barentine, meteorologist Nicholas Urboso, and meteorologist Hannah Fink. We have a very impressive weather system that is impacting the area in a big way. The primary issue right now is flash flooding, and we've got very heavy rainfall going on in the area right now. We are also seeing tides above normal, so we're getting some coastal flooding down along Dolphin Island and West Beach and Gulf Shores, as well as the Causeway area from some of the higher than normal tides. And we've seen dangerous rip currents as well, and that's going to continue. You have to stay out of the Gulf. Double red flags. Do not get in the water today. Right now, taking a look at the situation, the line of storms is not moving much. The heaviest of the rain is currently right here in George County, and we're getting rainfall rates in excess of 2 inches per hour. We've got heavy rain going on in Jackson County, and that heavy rain is continuing up into northern Mobile County. And we are also under currently a severe thunderstorm warning. So we've got a pair of severe thunderstorm warnings for what's essentially the leading edge of this strong to severe thunderstorm that's coming through. And then what's actually more significant than the severe thunderstorm warnings are these flash flood warnings. And all of Greene County, all of George County under a flash flood warning. We actually have a flash flood emergency for Stone County, where we've seen as much as a foot of rainfall in a very short period of time this morning. So there's a lot of things going on with the weather, and the cause of this is mostly related to the remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur. This is a system that's no longer a tropical system, but all the moisture, the big blow up of showers and thunderstorms that was over the Gulf, displaced away from the center, that's now parked over our area. We also have a front dropping down, and so the two features are working together to cause for unusually heavy rain, flooding, and possibly some isolated tornadoes. There is a tornado watch in effect right now for our area. So looking at radar, we are not seeing anything that's currently rotating or imminently forming into a tornado. So I guess that's a plus, but the problem is that this is a long training line of showers and thunderstorms, and there is the potential for your flooding going on right there where you have the red going on. We are now looking for any rotation areas, but we also have our lightning layer turned on, and we have an epic amount of lightning going on in western George County and in western Jackson County. This is a very high concentration of lightning strikes. So coupled with the severe thunderstorm winds and the flooding rains, we also have the lightning element to it, and it is a super stormy situation going on right now in George County and in Jackson County. Some of that heavy lightning is working up into Washington County, where we're seeing a lot of lightning strikes along Highway 17 and up towards Chatham. We've got heavy lightning going on there. But as far as looking at our velocity scan here, nothing stands out as being a distinct area of rotation. So we're not overly concerned with the potential for tornadoes right now. There is a lot of wind right along the leading edge of the line, and that is where we have and why we have a severe thunderstorm warning. We're getting wind velocities around 60 to 65 miles an hour, so the potential is there for thunderstorm winds to produce damage in George County and also into parts of Mobile County. Areas that are included in this severe thunderstorm warning include Sims and Big Creek Lake. So we definitely want to do some storm tracking here too. We're going to show you this is a very slow moving line, but as this line advances to the east at about 10 to 15 miles an hour, it's going to continue to make progress in the direction of Hurley, Van Cleve, the Hurley area by 115. We've got it in Tanner Williams at 130. So these are areas that are currently under the severe thunderstorm warning. And what you will experience is initially a lot of wind. And then once you get in the red, once the rain actually sets in, you can see possibly more than 1 or 2 hours of very heavy rain. The problem with this kind of a setup is that it's a pretty weak steering environment, and so the thunderstorms aren't moving much, and they're just staying parked over the same areas. Now, if you're in Pensacola, things are looking okay, just some light rain around. If you're in Baldwin County, we have light to moderate rain going on right now. If you're in Mobile, we have moderate rain going on, no lightning, no severe threat currently, but there is a warning just up Moffett Road and just up Highway 45 for the potential of this band starting to pivot in a little closer to the Mobile area. Further inland, it looks like moderate rain, pretty widespread. Probably rain most of the day in a lot of these spots like Grove Hill, Franklin, Monroeville, Uri, and Evergreen. We've got tons of rain out there. We've got a little pocket of lightning here around Atmore, but this is non-severe here. And then this is where the real problems are. And what's most likely going to happen with this kind of a setup, we could see isolated weak tornadoes today, so we're watching out for that. And we could see severe thunderstorm winds, so we're on guard for that as well. But it's the flooding threat that could be the most concerning before it's all said and done, because this rain keeps happening in the same spot. So when you start talking about up to a foot of rain, which we may see, we've seen that in Stone County, Mississippi, and the rainfall rates being so high. I'm here tracking alongside meteorologist Hannah Fink right now, and she's identifying some of the areas here where we have the high rainfall rates, and where you start to see these colors that turn purple and white. These are rainfall rates that are in excess of 3 inches per hour. In fact, we have an estimate of possibly up to around 5 inches per hour with the rainfall rates going on in Jackson County, Mississippi, and up into George County. So this could be very problematic, and that's why we have the problems with flash flooding, because not only is the ground saturated from recent rainfall, and we're getting some rain, but it's coming down so fast that there's nowhere for the water to go. It just can't find its way into the rivers and streams and drainage ditches. It overwhelms the flood control systems. So checking out the streak of rain so far in the last 12 hours, we've seen some of the most intense rains at around a foot in places like Stone County, Hancock County, Harrison County, and then back across the Pearl River and into some of the parishes of Louisiana. The heavy rain is going to extend, so I expect that the rainfall rates will continue to produce heavy rain in Greene County, Washington County, and it also may shift a little east as we go through the afternoon. So this is certainly the most alarming part of this setup, is that we have all this heavy rainfall going on. Another graphic that we want to show here is the risk of flash flooding. And so we have a very rare high risk for flash flooding in our area, and this is a 70% probability of flash flooding within 25 miles of a given point. So we are looking at a very high flood probability for today in the entire area in purple, and that even includes the metro areas of Mobile and central Baldwin County. Further to the north, it's almost a guarantee in the heart of this purple box, based on the way the bands of rain are setting up. If we go to our Futurecast, I want to show you what we expect to happen with the rain as we go through time. And one of the things that the Futurecast is doing is not doing a real good job of initializing the band that extends all the way down to the south, but it is placing the thunderstorms. I mean, look at this. This is the setup for 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's still showing heavy rain in places that are getting heavy rain right now. And the most concerning area appears to be kind of right through the inland and the central parts of our forecast area. That's going to be northern Mobile County, George County. I mean, this is 8 o'clock tonight. It still could be storming in George County. Mobile's going to be right on the edge of it, and then over towards Atmore. I mean, this whole area right in here could see some substantial flash flooding, and I think it's going to be around midnight tonight when the rainfall rates finally begin to calm down across the area. A lot of times when you have a landfalling remnant tropical system, all the activity tends to ramp up during the daytime hours. Now, this was such an intense band, it even happened at night last night. But when you got a remnant situation, a lot of times the daytime heating is what really kicks this thing off and gets things going. And then we get into the evening hours or into the night, and things will kind of die down. Then they may flare back up again tomorrow, so we'll have to watch out for that. But we do expect to catch a break late tonight. This is what the model is showing us here for the potential for rainfall through early Friday morning, and it does have some very troubling numbers here. There's a couple of things that stand out. It is showing the potential of about 6 inches of rain in Loosedale and about 7 inches of rain in Calvert. I wouldn't get too locked in on this. This is just a one model depiction of what's going on. But if you add that to what we've seen so far, we're going to have flash flooding happening in our area. And you can see there's another look at the model. This particular model, it looks like a little bit of a longer range version of the HRRR, does clear it off overnight, and then as we get into Friday afternoon, it does rebuild the showers and storms, but not as in an organized fashion as what we have today, which could be an all-day heavy rain event for parts of the area. So if you're just joining us, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith here with meteorologist Hannah Fink. We've got a lot of warnings and advisories right now. I'm going to let Hannah walk through what's happening with the different warnings that we have in the area, and also take a second look at what's happening with all the severe weather in the area. Hannah?
Yeah, Jason, so this morning we were quite busy. Around 8 a.m. we had, I would say, about 6 to 8 tornado warnings. Right now we're not tracking anything in retrospect to strong rotation. Yes, there are some areas where we could see little baby cells or weak rotation, especially over the bay. But right now, what we're looking at with velocity is strong wind gusts. So we have that severe thunderstorm warning in place. I'm going to take a zoomed in look here and go into the details of it in just a minute. And we can see why. There's a lot of lightning, and we're seeing wind gusts of about 60 to 70 miles per hour on top of that. So I'm going to put up the query for the severe thunderstorm warning here, and the one that's going into Mobile County. So the thing is, they both have tornado possible tags, and I just see that this one also has a destructive tag. So I'm going to go into that one in just a second here. And I'm not surprised by that, mainly for the fact that we were seeing destructive wind gusts. We were seeing about 65 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts with this storm over just north of Pascagoula over for Jackson County. So we're seeing wind gusts, destructive wind gusts, and we had reports earlier when there was a previous severe thunderstorm warning over that area where there were water rescues going on. And during those water rescues, they were getting impacted by those dangerous wind gusts, and they actually had to try and work around that because of the destructive flooding we have over there. We have flash flood emergencies over in Stone County, and then they both have tornado possible tags. This is probably something we're going to be seeing all day long, just because, like we mentioned, we are seeing remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur. There's a lot of tropical moisture in place. This is not our typical band of rain moving through and then we're done for the day. This is going to be an all-day threat. That's why we have that tornado watch in place until 7 o'clock tonight. So it's one of those things where if you do not have to leave your house, I definitely do not recommend it. Stay inside. Try and find ways to get through the day. Also, make sure you have multiple ways to receive alerts, whether that's our Fox 10 weather app, making sure you get the National Weather Service alerts on your phone as well. And just making sure you have multiple ways in charging your devices, but also being inside. That's what we want everyone to do today, just because on top of these severe thunderstorm warnings and these dangerous wind gusts, the biggest thing is going to be the flash flooding because of that tropical moisture and these training thunderstorms. So I'm going to look at a few of these flash flood warnings we have off to our west. They're not for the Fox 10 viewing area, but at some point we're probably going to start seeing some of these come into our area. We do have one in our Mississippi counties right now, but the more catastrophic ones are off to our west. So I'm going to clear out these severe thunderstorm warnings just so we can take a look at those. I'm going to turn off the lightning as well, but we're going to move off to our west, take a look at some of these flash flood warnings, and then also just the rainfall rates. And part of it is we're seeing 6 inches fall at a time because of these training thunderstorms. Now, what does that mean exactly? These thunderstorms are developing over the same location, and it's just dumping rain continuously. The same line is going because we're seeing some thunderstorms developing right behind the line as well. So I'm going to pull up these severe these flash flood warnings so you can kind of get an idea of what we're looking at here. And you're going to see some of the different tags. So we have 3 flash flood warnings up at this time, and all 3 of them are different. So we have a flash flood warning in Perry County. That's just because we're seeing a lot of rainfall. But then we have a flash flood warning that has a considerable tag, and that's because we're seeing, and it's been reports of rainfall rates that have added on to that. So when we get considerable rainfall rates, that's when you start getting them on your phone. That's when you see roads flooding. That's when you see pooling and other things. Then on top of that, if it continues to build, then we're going to get a flash flood emergency, which is where you see that catastrophic tag there for Stone County. That's what we were talking about earlier, where they were having water rescues because of the amount of rain that has fallen there, where we're seeing a foot of rain in these areas that are under flash flood warnings. And as you can see, they'll be under flash flood warnings through the evening hours. We're probably going to see those extended as well because rain is still falling over those locations at this time. So that's one thing to note. And the reason we're telling you this is because the worst of the thunderstorms or the rainfall rates have not made it into our area completely yet. So that's why we're keeping an eye on these, looking at the details, so that way we can know what could possibly be ahead for our area here in the Fox 10 viewing area. On top of that, the biggest thing is going to be the flooding. That's why we just saw that high risk of flash flooding, which is extremely rare for our area. But on top of that, we're also watching for the potential of a tornado warning to be issued through the afternoon or evening hours. Now, that's not me saying they're going to be issued. The potential is just there. That's why we still have that tornado watch in place until 7 p.m. And we're seeing these broad areas of rotation, especially some water spouts. I'm going to bring in Jason Smith too, just to talk about it a little bit. So we've been watching these off the coastline. Another big thing that we've been talking about is the coastal flooding as well. So Jason Smith, Jason, we were talking about a little bit of high tide at this point and how we could start to see some water come up along Dauphin Island, even possibly the Causeway. We've seen some stuff on our cameras. We can't really quite pick it up on our specific cameras, but we've seen some reports of issues in Dauphin Island where the water is washing up along the shoreline.
Yeah, tides right now are running about 1 foot above normal, and our high tide is coming up. It varies a little depending on where you are. High tide is not always in the same time in the exact same spot, but we're approaching high tide at Dauphin Island. We're looking at about a 3 p.m. high tide a little further up the bay as we get into the Mobile River area. And I've been checking some of the gauges, and they're a little above normal. It's not off the charts, but what's causing that, the reason why we're seeing that, is that we've got a persistent southerly wind, and I just checked some of the observations about an hour ago down at Dauphin Island, and the winds were sustained about 26, 27 miles an hour. They were gusting over 30 knots and up into that 35 mile per hour range, almost a 40 mile per hour gust. And so when you have that strong wind, what it does is it just basically pushes the Gulf in, and it creates a higher than normal tide level on top of what already is going on because of the gravitational pull of the moon and the sun. So we have a strong astronomical tide going on, and there is a coastal flood advisory for minor coastal flooding. This is going to be some of the areas that typically flood when we see that persistent southerly flow coinciding with high tide. And it would be West Beach, Gulf Shores area, Dauphin Island, the West End especially, and then potentially Shell Belt Road in Coden, as well as the mouth of Dog River and the Causeway. Those are some areas that we have some roadways that are a little bit more low-lying, and those low-lying roadways can flood when we do have tides above normal, as we have in this kind of a setup. And we're also looking at a very, very dangerous rip current situation. There's a high surf advisory in effect through Friday evening. We're looking at surf heights between 5 and 7 feet. We've already had some reports of some issues with folks trying to swim, and this is super important. If you're watching this live stream, if you're watching us on Facebook or on YouTube, and you can share the live stream. If you know somebody who's down towards the beach, do that, because this is the #1 cause of weather-related fatalities in our area, rip currents. It's super dangerous, and we are expecting to see a very high rip current danger through at least Saturday. I know it may not seem like the best beach day, but it's not raining as hard down at the beach as it is in some of the inland areas, and so some folks may be tempted just to go down there and maybe put their toes in the water. I wouldn't even do that today. I would stay completely out of the Gulf. Gulf today. It's just not advisable to be anywhere near the heavy surf that's going on. Checking out our wind gust right now. We've had a wind gust at 30 miles an hour at Mobile, with a severe thunderstorm warning, a wind gust of 32 in Loosedale, and wind gust near 29 miles an hour in Pensacola. So this is what's driving the water levels up a little higher than usual. It's also building the wave heights, which creates the recipe for the rip currents. When we have really rough surf and really strong winds, that moves the water around more and it accelerates the currents and can cause the dangerous rip currents to form. So it's just too rough in the Gulf. We've got a issue with the beaches. We've got an issue with flash flooding in the inland areas, coastal flooding at the coast, and then also the potential for tornadic weather today along with severe thunderstorms. Right now we are looking at what is more of a linear squall line. So if you look at this line right here, it's almost completely straight without any bends and bows in it. It's also advancing in the direction of Mobile Regional Airport. We can see that squall line beginning to shift now into Mobile County, and this is not the setup for a tornado when we have this kind of appearance on radar. Certainly the potential is here if something changes, but it is the setup for very, very strong winds, and we can see the wind shift where the pixels go from red to green, and some of the maximums along through here indicate winds of about 60 miles an hour, and that's the threshold for severe thunderstorm warning. So we are looking at Jackson County and parts of George County in these orange boxes. This is what is currently under the severe thunderstorm warning. We are also seeing flash flooding, but taking a look at some of the thunderstorm winds that are going on in the area, some of the heaviest wind is going to be right in through here along Highway 63 right now, and on the leading edge of that precipitation. There's also an epic amount of lightning that's happening within these thunderstorms as well. So what we're going to do, we're just going to stay here with you on the stream for a while. We do have some World Cup soccer going on Fox 10, so we want to be able to show that as well. And so you could be watching the World Cup on your TV, and you could stream us on your tablet or on your phone, and just continue to keep an eye on the weather for you here on Fox 10 News. Or you may be watching us at work today. So we're happy to be here showing you what's happening on our digital platforms. And an overview of the entire situation. The most concerning part of this is going to be the areas in red. And the way this works is this is a radar, and it gives us reflectivity. And these are your colors. So you've got light rain, which is in the greens, and then moderate rain, which is in the yellow, and then the heavier stuff gets over into the red. And often when we have a tropical situation, you've got a little bit of a finer rain particle, so it may not give you that high reflectivity rate, but the rainfall rates are actually, they can be much higher than what shows up on radar. So it's interesting to see how that may play into it before it's all said and done today. These are our rainfall rates right now, and we're looking at generally 2 to 3 inches per hour, which is just really something that the drainage ditches and the roadways can't handle. So there's nowhere for the water to go, and you get these, what in some places showing up as 4 to 5 inches per hour with the rainfall rates, and you know we're going to have flash flooding going on, and if it's not happening, it will likely be occurring very soon. I wouldn't be surprised to see northern Mobile County go under a flash flood warning as well. The only positive thing about George County right now is that the line is shifting some. If it can move a little bit, I think that would be good. You don't want it to sit in one spot, but we also are monitoring for any possible flash flood emergencies which may pop up in the area. So the way the warning process works is that when we have a tornado warning or a flash flood warning, it means that flooding is imminent or it could be occurring, but when it's confirmed, we go into an emergency situation. And right now we're not seeing that, but that's something we're going to have to watch out for today. And it also will be interesting to see if this heavy line actually makes it into the Mobile metro area. Some of the high-res models are suggesting that that might happen. And the forward speed of it's going to be very critical, but right now we're seeing it just creeping along at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. It's not really moving much. This is just a fire hose of rain that's going on in the forecast area today. Our Futurecast model shows that as we advance this into the afternoon, things don't change much. We're still seeing rain pretty much in the same areas. It may shift a little bit further eastward and southward, but even at the 6 o'clock hour, places like George County, northern Mobile County, southern Clark County, we may still be getting a lot of this red type look to the radar. What the Futurecast does is it shows us what we think will happen down the road, and these higher resolution models update constantly, and they give us a good idea, but they're not exact. So this is just a prediction, but they're getting better. There's no doubt about it. I mean, if we've been watching this for a couple of days and a lot of the modeling was suggesting we were going to see a big event, we went into Stormtracker Alert mode for today very early in the week, and this is definitely a kind of day that verifies as a Stormtracker Alert day. I mean, we've got heavy rain, lightning, some flooding, coastal flooding, and also rough surf, so there are a lot of elements to it out there today. The heaviest of the rain, let's go on a little radar tour here. We'll start in Jackson County and work up the line. We've got something in from Nicholas right now.
I just want to say real quick, I noticed the Storm Prediction Center did just put out a little statement actually regarding that line to give us a little bit of context. They say that line is going to hold together as it moves east, and it's going to shift a little more inland.
Okay.
And they did the environment analysis, and they said that there's still a lot of shear, so they're thinking that we might see some embedded spin-ups in the line, especially later on as we go through time. So on the leading edge of the line, something that we'll watch, but that was just updated, and they said that they will probably extend the tornado watch at some point.
So what Nicholas is saying is that along this line, that it may end up being a little stronger in the inland spots, and that we are looking at the potential for some tornadic weather still, and that they may extend the current tornado watch, while right now it's a little more linear and has the setup for severe thunderstorms. As we get into the afternoon, the atmospheric environment is stronger for possibly some tornadoes going on in the area. So we're going to watch out for that too, that we think that the worst of it may end up transitioning a little bit more into the inland spots, and also being possibly more tornadic. So we've got a severe thunderstorm warning just updated here. Well, that's until 1:15, so it was likely just updated and refreshed that warning for Jackson County, Mississippi. This warning right here covers Mobile County and includes Sims and Wilmer, as well as southeast George County. And then the rain and the storms extends all the way up the Alabama River and up into Monroe County. So we are looking at issues there and into southern Clark County as well. And there are a lot of lightning strikes. I mean, and you can see what's happening even here to the south, down along the Mississippi coast. This is an electric storm. We've got a high concentration of lightning in Loosedale. We've got a high concentration of lightning further up the line as well. So there's also this is not just us, there is a flash flood warning up. I mean, you want to talk about a drive you shouldn't take. Don't take Highway 90 or I-10 west into Mississippi for a while. Give it some time. Let this improve, because there is a flash flood warning for the Alabama line all the way back to Bay St. Louis and down into almost Slidell, Louisiana here. So it's going to be terrible for travel to the west, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that flash flood warning extended throughout the area as we go through time, because the line is shifting over. But you can see the recent lightning strikes starting to pop up in Jackson County here for sure. Active weather day. We're going to be here with you for a while here on Fox 10 News. We're going to have coverage. May break into the ball game some as well, especially if we get a tornadic situation or a flash flood emergency. We will also be here with Fox 10 News at 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., and then again at 9 and 10 outside of any severe weather updates. So we're going to have comprehensive coverage of this event. Right now, nothing stands out as a rotating thunderstorm, but we do have some heavy wind coming through, so that's why we have these orange boxes up. They represent severe thunderstorm warnings. There's a severe thunderstorm warning for the Lott Road area from Sims up to almost Georgetown, and on Highway 43 from near the University of Mobile up to Chunchula. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning for Highway 98 from Sims through Wilmer and into Mississippi and to southeast George County. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning for the Tanner Williams community as well as Hurley and Big Point for heavy winds moving in. And this is not that far away from Mobile Regional Airport. You can probably see how dark the sky is over the Mobile area. Obviously, we've got some rain going on right now, but with that big thunderstorm back to the west, the skies may look dark as well. This is an area that is currently in a flash flood warning. This is D'Iberville, Mississippi. This is the Scarlet Pearl Casino Resort camera, part of our Eastern Shore Toyota camera network, and it is showing that we can see hardly anything beyond the camera right now. There, you can there goes a flash of lightning. You can kind of see the situation as you look down towards the water, but it's hard to pick really anything out here. It's just blinding rain that's going on into Iberville, so that gives us a good idea of what's happening along the Mississippi coast right now. Tough travel weather out there today. Terrible beach weather too. And a good day to be inside watching coverage and keeping an eye on things. Now, looking at lightning strikes in the area right now, the lightning is super heavy, and our D'Iberville camera was showing some of that lightning. I can see the lightning going up into George County. And if you're in Citronelle, you're getting some lightning strikes now. You've got more that will be filling in. And coupled with that would be heavy rain and wind. And we've even had some rumbles here. I just thought I heard one earlier at the Fox 10 News studios. I could see a few, I would say, spotty lightning strikes here out ahead of the main line over the Mobile area. And we are getting some pretty decent rain in Mobile right now. It's not nearly as heavy as what's happening in the central and the northern part of the county and up into northern Baldwin County too. That's one thing we hadn't talked about much, is what's happening further up the line. So definitely want to pay attention to this too. We're also going to see the possibility of flooding in South Clark County, in South Monroe County, and northern Baldwin County, and possibly over to Conecuh County. This is a trend, is something Nicholas was touching on, and it's a trend that's showing up in the models. It's not just going to be where the rain is coming down hard right now, but it may be in some areas further east and further north, because the setup here, the environment is favorable for the line to completely hold together and just creepy crawl across the central and northern parts of the forecast area. So I'm definitely concerned about what happens with time in northern Baldwin County from Stockton up to Latham and Blacksher, and also in southern Monroe County around Chrysler, Frisco, Uri, and into southern Clark County. Right now, I think the heaviest of the rain's right here where meteorologist Hannah Fink is actually drawing the fan out right there initially. We're not seeing a real fast forward speed to it, but if this line were to hold together, it would be in the Mobile area in about 30 minutes. The southern end may hold together. The northern end's definitely going to hold together. And we've got the northern end of it getting into Atmore about 1:30. We've got it in the Flomaton area about 1:53. It's just not moving that quickly. So it's kind of sitting in one spot, and that's why we have the flooding threat going on right now. I heard some audio there. Were we going to take a live shot?
I think that was feedback. Quick note, Causeway closed.
Okay, so we can pull up the traffic tracker right now and show you that, or if we've got any live cameras, we will. The Causeway is closed.
Yes, that was what we just put out.
Yeah, the Causeway is closed right now, and that's the coastal flooding element to what's going on with this. And we're actually pulling up the traffic tracker right now. We're going to zoom in here tight and see.
It'll be eastbound.
You can see the red right there, and you see there's a ramp that's closed for sure, and this may be updated. So the eastbound Causeway is closed. There's slow traffic on the Bayway, and this is a coastal flooding situation right here. Did you get a closure, complete closure of the Causeway, Nicholas, or just one lane?
It'll be the eastbound. Yeah, closing all eastbound.
They're closing all eastbound traffic on the Causeway. So where you see this red right here, that's going to be from the Battleship to the crossover right here. That area is one of the most vulnerable places along the Causeway, but they may just go ahead and shut it down completely eastbound from the Bankhead Tunnel over to the Spanish Fort area. So what that means is your only option for travel between Mobile and Baldwin counties from Mobile directly to Daphne. Of course, you could go up and over the Dolly Parton Bridge, but the I-10 area is your best bet. And it's slow right now. It's slow. I mean, we've got some heavy rain going on right now, but the Causeway is shut down for coastal flooding. and most likely it's going to stay flooded through about 5 p.m. High tide is around 3, so you know the swell has been building, the storm tides are up, and then you add in the astronomical high tide around 3 o'clock, and we're likely going to continue to see some issues there. We've got a new severe thunderstorm warning, and that's going to be for this portion of the cell here in the inland parts of the area. We are now up into Monroe County, and so the severe thunderstorm warning is for far eastern Clark County around Watley and Gainestown, and it also includes most of Monroe County, and it includes Frisco and Monroeville and McGargle and Uriah as well as Huxford. And then we are also seeing the warning extended over here into Conecuh County near Castleberry and Repton. So that is the orange box right here. I think the strongest winds are going to be in this part of it here. We also do have some winds out ahead of it there in Repton, but just wanted to mention that we were talking earlier about how, hey, the inland areas also could see some tremendous impacts from flooding and severe weather today, and it looks like that's starting to verify now. So we're seeing that transition here in Clark County and Monroe County with lightning strikes that are numerous and the heavy rain going on along Highway 59, and that's going to be from the Chrysler area over to Uriah. Right now, we did want to show you a live camera of the Causeway. This is an area that's flooded right now, and checking it out, we have a closure of eastbound traffic. So right now you're seeing some cars moving, but these cars are just westbound cars. So they're cars from Daphne coming into Mobile. There are no cars going eastbound from Mobile to Baldwin County. You have to take the Bayway if you want to head in that direction right now. And you can see the water level is a little higher than usual here. There's too much rain on the lens really to see just how flooded the road is, but those eastbound lanes are inundated with what's water not coming in from rainfall, but water is coming in from the bay. So when you have a setup like this, it can be confusing to a lot of folks, but you've got two types of flooding. You've got freshwater flooding from rainfall, and then you have storm tide coming in, or above normal tides, from the wind-driven water, which is salty water coming in. In this particular case, this is that wind-driven water coming in off the bay. Obviously, it's not good for your car to be driving around in all that salty water anyway, so avoid that area. Looking at it, we've got a heavy line of storms approaching Mobile. We have a flooded out Causeway right now. We've got some flooding on the west end of Dauphin Island too. We've got lightning strikes popping and firing in a high concentration throughout the area. We've got multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, multiple flash flood warnings in the area, and you can see the Frisco area over to Conecuh County. Got a heavy storm there, and just watching this update, you know, we just had a whole new volume scan, and we almost saw no change in the position of the storm. I mean, this is terrible stuff that's going on with this heavy rain. Right now, the flash flood warning does include George County and Jackson County as well as Greene County, and it may be extended over here into Mobile County because the rainfall rates are especially heavy on Moffett Road and Highway 43 and Highway 45 right now, and all that activity is leading in closer to Mobile Regional Airport. This is a busy day, Hannah. We've got so much going on with the rain and the rough weather, and we're going to keep it covered here on our streaming platforms.
Yes, Jason, honestly, today at this point, I've been keeping an eye on the Slack chat and seeing exactly everything that's been said in there. Every warning that we have gotten, severe thunderstorm warning wise, has had the tornado possible tag. They keep using the verbiage regarding remain alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, go at once into the basement or a small room in a sturdy structure. This is probably, I'm not going to be surprised if they put a tornado possible tag on every single severe thunderstorm warning we have, just because we're seeing the line moving through, and after what meteorologist Nicholas Herbosa said from the Storm Prediction Center, that this line will continue to possibly hold and strengthen. We could see some more rotation areas, especially in our inland areas, probably in the next couple of hours as we see this line kind of develop how it kind of holds together and probably strengthens as we go on through the lunchtime hours. One thing we are noticing, a lot of lightning is being produced from it, especially over the areas of Biloxi. We do have that severe thunderstorm warning in place over near Evergreen. That one's mainly for damaging winds at this point. We saw some gusty winds associated with that. Off to our west, we're still seeing those flash flood warnings, flash flood emergencies as well. The one that I did just show Jason just a minute ago, that is a new flash flood warning that was added over into George County there. And like we said, we're probably going to continue to see these getting issued throughout the entirety of the day, especially as this line is slowly making its way through the Fox 10 viewing area. Right now it's just moving through our inland areas, going through our northern portions of Mobile County, slowly getting into the northern portion of Baldwin County. Northwest Florida has not seen as much rainfall as the rest of us have at this point, but your turn will probably be towards the evening hours, if anything. This line is kind of a slow mover. We're seeing that it's going to reach certain areas in about 30 to 45 minutes or so. So this is one of those things. We will be covering this all day long. This is not really a sprint. This is more of a marathon with this event just because of everything going on. We had a stalled front off to our north, which provided showers and thunderstorms to the area that we saw earlier this week. Now we're adding in tropical moisture and now the remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur. So not only do we have the instability and energy from a front, now we're bringing in that tropical aspect of it as well, which is why we think some of our models have not been as strong with the amount of rainfall we're seeing. Some of them are picking up on about to 6 to 7 inches, but some of them are only seeing 2 to 3. So that's why we're seeing some of those tweaks there. But obviously we've known for since over this previous weekend that flooding was going to be the biggest thing, and it has been the biggest thing across the Gulf Coast. Every event we've had so far has brought flooding. We were just previously in a drought. Obviously these were all drought busters, but it's a lot of rain all at once. So that's the biggest thing there. Nothing really to note in regards to the National Weather Service chat. They're still spawning those flash flood warnings. We still have that severe thunderstorm warning in place. I'm going to take a zoomed in look over here. We're probably going to look at it. We're going to query it as well. There we go. So that is going to be in place until 1:45. This is for Clark, Conecuh, and Monroe County, mainly for destructive winds. It's moving east at 35 miles per hour. They saw 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts associated, which is the main reason which is usually one of the main indicators of a severe thunderstorm warning there. Let's pull up velocity just to see what we are seeing in regards to wind gusts at this time. Going to move down, so I'm going to go to regular velocity. That tan color right there, that's showing a little bit. Let's put on the velocity tool specifically to see what it's showing. Okay, so we're seeing about 65 to 67 miles per hour and 74 miles per hour. So this is just over the area of Uri, just moved out of Chrysler and is still continuing to move over to the east. So we'll continue to track that as it's moving through. This is mainly for damaging winds, so do keep in mind if you are in these areas, Frisco City, Janes. Okay, now we're getting a new scan. That's why it's disappeared there for a second. But if you're in those areas there, we're going to continue to track that. Damaging winds is going to be the main thing we are tracking. Frisco City, Janes Mill, Lenox, Monroeville is going to get portions of this damaging winds here. And for those who are just now joining us, I'm going to point this out.
I will say, Hannah,
yes.
Looking at that on reflectivity, the velocity view, it's getting a lot of the winds.
We're starting to see that bowing a little bit.
But the bow is the most significant bow I've seen so far today.
Yes, so what Nick just brought up is the bowing shape that we typically, whenever we have thunderstorms on reflectivity, sometimes we're looking at this C shape, or what we call bowing. That is showing the potential for some damaging winds, and that is associated with this severe thunderstorm we are tracking. So I'm going to zoom in once again just so you can see it better in this area, that bowing shape. And then I'm going to get my pointer tool so you can kind of see it. This bowing shape right here. So that is a huge indicator for us that there's damaging winds associated with this storm. So areas of Uri, Frisco City is about to see these damaging winds. So if you were in those areas, you are probably going to definitely see it if you have stuff outside, or if you have trees associated in those areas as well. You will see that. If you have things outside, they're probably going to be blown around. Do not go outside to try and get them at this point, just because this is about to get to you or already over you in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Other areas, Monroeville, you have about probably 15 minutes before this part gets to you. They did just shave down the severe thunderstorm warning a little bit there, I am noticing. Let me make sure they didn't add any significant updates to it though. No, that's just them shaving it out. So Frisco City, you're about to see this wind here. Monroeville, you have about probably 15 minutes. Repton, you probably have about 20 minutes. I'm going to put on the feature so we could see timing a little bit here. We're going to do 30 miles per hour. Okay, so Frisco City, 122. This will be over you, so you have about 5 minutes there. Monroeville, 133. They are canceled, so they just canceled the severe thunderstorm warning for Clark County, which makes sense. It's moved out of that area. Repton, you have about 143. So again, these aren't extremely fast moving storms, especially with this associated line. But as you can see, there's a lot going into it. We're concerned with flooding. We're keeping an eye out for the possibility of tornado warnings more in the later parts of the day. But damaging winds also is the huge thing. We just talked about that Boeing shape, the backward C. That's how you know that there is damaging winds associated with the severe thunderstorm warning. And if it keeps holding on, probably Evergreen is going to get added to this severe thunderstorm warning. So if you're in Evergreen and you're hearing this right now, prepare for the possibility of some gusty winds, a lot of lightning and heavy downpours that's about to head into your area, probably about 1:50, 2 o'clock-ish. So you still have a little bit of time. As you can see, they're moving extremely slow, but it's still something to keep on your radar. This entire day is not going to be a fast one. Like we said, it's going to be a marathon, not a sprint with everything going on. We're keeping an eye on the potential for flash flooding. We see that off to our west. At this point, it's just a waiting game before we see any more added to our area. Greene in George County, they're currently under flash flood warnings until 4:30 at this time as well. So a lot going on in the area. We have a lot of watches in place as well. Let's take a look at our current alerts that we have in place. So we have that tornado watch in place until about 7 o'clock tonight, but like meteorologist Nicholas Herboso mentioned, the Storm Prediction Center could be stretching that a little bit, adding a few hours to it, mainly for our inland areas. Now, we'll know that probably in another hour or so what their plan is, but they do have the potential for extending that. We have that severe thunderstorm warning over in Conecuh County. Evergreen could be getting added to that at any point. And then you see these areas of that the maroon color here. These are those flash flood warnings. A few of those are flash flood emergencies as well. So if you know anybody over there, make sure they stay in their homes. Obviously, Greene and George County, we're seeing flash flooding there as well. We're going to keep an eye on the fact that they could extend those or even add to it, maybe add considerable tags or catastrophic. We've already seen that off to our west, where we saw a foot of rainfall in areas of Stone County, which is not in our viewing area, but very close to it. So when we're tracking areas off to our west, that's more of an indicator for us to keep an eye on those thunderstorms as they move into our area. But right now, it is a slow moving system. We're seeing how this line holds up. The Storm Prediction Center is tracking the possibility for this line to hold up, but also strengthen potentially as well. This is going to be going on through the afternoon as well as the evening hours. And I think meteorologist Nicholas Rosa wants to say something.
I just want to say something. We just pushed on our Fox 10 News app a story about something that happened in South Baldwin County with drowning. Just a reminder for everybody. You see those alerts there for severe weather, and a lot of attention's on that. But I don't know if you have the beach camera queued up in there. The situation down at the beach is terrible. Don't you dare get in the water. Just don't do it. You know, it's not raining as much, and Jason said that earlier. It's not raining that much down there. But look at that. That looks terrible. You should not dare enter that water. It is closed. It's illegal to do so. And hopefully they're catching anybody that's getting down there, because it's it would be a death wish to go and get in that water. And also now I have seen pictures and videos from Dauphin Island. By the way, if you have any pictures and videos, send to us of the coastal flooding happening there. The winds gusting to around 30 miles per hour out of the south right now. So it's really blowing in some heavy wind, and it's pushing all this water up against the coast. And that's why we're also seeing issues down at the Causeway as well. Look at that, 24 miles per hour of the south and Gulf Shores, 24 Pascagoula, 29 in Pensacola. So, I mean, it is some serious wind that we're keeping an eye on there. And with that, we have that rough surf and, of course, that coastal flooding issue. But just high surf advisory, all the stuff. I could jump around, and I've been seeing more videos and pictures of it. I could jump around like a chicken with my head cut off, yelling about this. It kills so many people. So just don't get in the water, guys. Also keeping an eye on the coastal flooding issues. We've been keeping that as well. With that southerly wind, it does look like the Causeway is still looking kind of rough right now. I haven't actually checked on traffic tracker and stuff and other stuff. I'll actually do that now. But it looks like we're starting to see that flooding happening there too.
Thank you, Nick. Yes, so like he just mentioned, there's a lot going on with the system in general. Things regarding the tropics, severe weather in general. And then also, like he just said, unfortunately, we did see reports of somebody drowning trying to save their child because of how dangerous the surf is out there. I'm going to pull up the Orange Beach camera once again just to show you why. So I know a lot of people are visiting our Gulf Coast waters. That's one of the biggest things here. You see all that white, that's a big no-no. Those things are things that could pull you into the water and pull you under the water. You do not want to get into the water. Yes, it's gray, it's gloomy. A lot of people are here on vacation. And it does stink when things ruin your vacation, such as weather. But you see all of that white, especially near the coastline. I can actually see some rip currents in the water. So that white that looks like it's going towards the ocean, it's the ocean water itself, that is a rip current. You do not want to get inside of that. You do not even want to put your toe into it, like Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith said. Do not get into the water. If you know people visiting the Gulf Coast waters, or if you're somebody who is a local and you see people getting towards the water, please tell them, don't get in it. You do not want to turn it into a pool day. Unfortunately, yes, it's warm outside. You're looking for ways to cool off, but there's so many better ways. There's so many different things you could do as well to kind of make your vacation better. We have the Tanger outlets. You can go shopping. We have plenty of local restaurants you can go to. There's a pool day as well. Just please stay out of the water. It is rough out there. We do not want to lose any more lives than we already have on top of it. So right now, rip current risk, beaches are closed. Do not get into the water. And another thing is, if you do get into the water and you get caught, that's a fine. It is illegal to get into the water. And then on top of it, we have the storm system moving through our area as well. So let's take a look at our radar picture right now. So we're seeing flooding. We're seeing issues at the beaches. We're seeing issues off to our west in regards to flooding as well. And then we're seeing a lot of lightning. So that's another thing we're concerned with, is lightning. A lot of people in our Facebook chat, yes, I see you guys, are talking about how loud it is and how much lightning there is. Lightning is also something you don't want to mess with. So we're seeing all this lightning around the area. Do not go outside. If you are needing to be outside for any reason, just go inside. Try not to go anywhere today. It's one of those days where you might want to just stay inside. Yes, a lot of people are having to work. Keep an eye on the weather because we want you guys to be safe. Right now, we're just tracking the possibility of damaging winds, especially in Clark County just got taken out of it. But I'm going to bring in Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith to talk a little bit about it as well. Jason, obviously we want people to stay out of the water, but also a big thing is the damaging winds we're seeing. That system is really bowing. That is right behind you. We're really starting to see that defined C shape there behind you.
The weather is incredibly active today. It is a Stormtracker Alert day. We're currently streaming most of this. If you're watching us right now, you're seeing us on a stream of some sort because we've got World Cup soccer going on television. You may be watching the World Cup and then streaming it on your phone. That's fine too. However, we can get the information out. We want to do that for you here on Fox 10 News this afternoon. We have a signature on radar that is showing a bowing out here, and this is going to be in Monroe County, so that's where we're seeing the heaviest of the wind that's going on in the forecast area right now. We're definitely looking at got a lot of wind going on, and we're going to continue to see that as we go through the afternoon. The potential for severe weather, especially here to the north, where we could see thunderstorms with damaging winds and also a few isolated tornadoes. We had a lot of tornado warnings earlier today in Greene County and George County. Right now we're primarily looking at severe thunderstorm warnings and flooding, but the tornado warnings could come back at any time. We're under a tornado watch currently until around 7 p.m. tonight. Looking at what's going on with our velocity product here, the thunderstorm winds potentially could be around 72 miles an hour along Highway 59 and getting into the Frisco area. Right now it looks like right around McGargle here, probably seeing the strongest winds. So between Uri and Monroeville, we're getting very intense winds going on here with this thunderstorm. A lot of lightning strikes as well. All right, let's look at rain rates and talk about flooding, because this is a very, very slow moving thunderstorm line. The individual cells are moving fairly quickly within the line. They're tracking up the line, but the line itself is just dragging through the area. And right now it's settled into Jackson County, Mississippi, and also into northern Mobile County as well as northern Baldwin County. And we are looking at rainfall rates generally around 2 to 3 inches per hour. There will be some locations where the rainfall rates are a little higher than that. And because the line itself is not moving very quickly, the individual storms are, but the line itself is not moving very quickly, we can see this rain add up in a really unfortunate fashion. Checking it out here and identifying, and Hannah's identifying some of the rainfall rates over 3 inches an hour, possibly 4 to 5 inches an hour, according to this particular product here. It's showing a rainfall rate of around 3 inches per hour in Mobile County. And what happens is when this gets into a metro area where there are more neighborhoods, there's less ability for runoff. You've got more streets, more asphalt surfaces. It's impossible for the water to penetrate into the ground because of the infrastructure that's in place. Then the threat goes up, and it can happen even more quickly. Right now, we are under a flash flood warning for Greene County and George County, as well as parts of Stone County has been in a flash flood emergency today. So,
hey Jason, I do want to make a note. The Mobile County emergency managers have put out that Shell Belt Road and Coden Belt Road have been closed due to the tropical weather and deteriorating road conditions. So if y'all remember a couple weeks ago when we were tracking all the flooding that was happening, there was a lot of roadways being washed out. We're going to see that again with this system moving through the area. So like we mentioned, if you see barricades up, do not drive around them. If you see a flooded road, do not test it to see if you will be able to make it through. We've been seeing stalled cars with Fox 10 crew out driving around trying to see what's going on to give us a visual on the outside here. But overall, we're probably going to continue to see road closures happening. If you see barricades going up, do not drive around them. So again, what we just said from emergency managers in Mobile County, Shell Belt Road and Coden Belt Road have been closed due to deteriorating road conditions. So do keep that in mind, and this is probably going to continue over the next couple of hours and throughout the day as well, Jason.
Yeah, so what's happening down in South Mobile County on Shell Belt and in Coden and Bayou La Battery area, it's coastal flooding. I mean, we've got a strong southerly wind, and so that's creating tides above normal, and these are areas that are flood prone from when you have a tropical system like this and you get a lot of swell and you got a lot of wind. It causes the water to build up coming in off of Mississippi Sound. So, you know, for the same reason that we're seeing flooding on the Causeway, it's the same reason why we're seeing issues with flooding in the Coden area, because we've got tides above normal. And our high tide is around 3 o'clock. So we expect this to persist for a couple of more hours. Later tonight, the tide will turn and begin to fall. You're still going to have higher than normal levels on top of that, but astronomically this should work out where the tides begin to lower some into the overnight hours tonight. But for the rest of the afternoon, it looks like we could have road closures in Coden and Bayou La Battery, and that is a Shell Belt Road and Coden Belt Road. So that's going to be a coastal flooding situation there, as well as along the west end of Dolphin Island and the Causeway. As far as rain totals, So far, the heaviest of the rain has been just west of our area. We've seen some incredible rain over southern Mississippi and places like Diamond Head, Mississippi, and Pass Christian and Bay St. Louis, 9 to 10 inches of rain. You get over into our area, and right now the highest we've seen is about 6 inches of rain near Highway 98, close to Leakesville and up from Loosedale. So that's going to be a little further up here as we get close to McLean and Vernal. It's going to be right in this area here, the Avent area. That's where we've seen possibly as much as 6 inches of rain, where you have this coloration that is yellow right there. Other than that, it's not off the charts in our area yet, but that could change because the models are predicting that this line is going to stay in place, especially along I-65 and south of Highway 84, kind of in the central part of the forecast area through the afternoon, and we could start to see some flash flooding. There is a flash flood warning up right now for George County and also for Greene County. So these are all counties in purple here that are under flash flood warnings for the potential of flash flooding. The yellow is a tornado watch, and so we have a tornado watch in effect for most of the area. Tornado watch is in effect until this evening, and then we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Monroe County and also for parts of Conecuh County. So we have the potential for tornadoes, we have the potential for flooding and severe thunderstorms. We're also seeing tides above normal, and we have the rip current danger. One thing that meteorologist, if you're just joining us, meteorologist Nicholas Herboso just mentioned that we have a news story up that just was pushed out on our website of a drowning in South Baldwin County, and a lot of the emergency officials here have been begging folks stay out of the water, and it's a no-go. There's no room for discussion. You just don't get your toes anywhere near the water. You can walk on the beach. I know it's not raining down at the beach right now, but don't get in the Gulf at all. The currents are extremely strong, the surf is rough, and the danger is super high. We're looking at double red flag conditions today, and it would be a terrible situation if you thought about going swimming in the Gulf today. So don't do it. No, stay out. So a lot going on around the area as far as advisories and potential hazards. Unfortunately, this is something we've seen coming for a couple of days. This is all the result of the remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur. And the biggest part of it, it's pretty crazy. You got a tropical low that was only briefly a tropical storm, at most 45-mile-per-hour winds sustained. The center of the low pressure area kind of skirted the Texas coast and came inland around Houston and Galveston. But the worst of the weather is actually here today because of the upper level flow pattern. It kind of sheared that storm apart, and it took all that deep tropical moisture that's associated with it and has it parked over our area. So we're actually seeing some of the most intense impacts, and certainly I would say the Mississippi coast and Louisiana may have seen it a little worse than us so far, but the day's not done in our area, so we're going to see our potential for heavy rain as well. And looking at it here, our velocity product, nothing again is standing out as tornadic right now. We do have a bow signature here, and that's why we have a severe thunderstorm warning. We're starting to get some heavier wind approaching the radar site at Mobile Regional Airport. The line of storms is getting very close to West Mobile right now. We've seen the reflectivity rates really high here in and around Wilmer and Sims, and as we shift it back, so the airport is right here, and the heavy weather is, it's like on Snow Road. I mean, it's really close to the heart of Mobile. There's your radar site right there, and then you can see the heavy rain is going on at Big Creek Lake, and in Samuel Williams, in Wilmer, and in Sims, and in Saraland. Now we're getting the heavy rain along 158 at the University of Mobile into Saraland. It's not quite down to Chickasaw, but there are some pockets of some heavier downpours headed your way. And then this wall of rain just continues all the way up into northern Baldwin County. So we're getting a ton of heavy rain going on. As far as lightning strikes, it's definitely more spotty in North Baldwin, but it certainly picks up along the Mississippi coast. And I don't see any reason why this line won't hold together and most likely get into West Mobile. It's definitely raining in Mobile right now, but the heavier stuff is just to our west. You can actually see how the rain is actually temporarily shut off for Grand Bay. There may be a little bit of a dry slot down here that's coming in, but this squall line is inching forward. The individual cells are moving northeast at about 50 miles an hour, but the squall line itself is taking its sweet time, starting to work in across the area. So we've got this squall line getting into the Pritchard area by 1:41. That should be fairly soon. We're already starting to see bits and pieces of that there. This particular storm track has it in Mobile proper just before 2 o'clock. So we are looking at heavy weather coming through as the squall line is moving slowly. And the reason why that's a problem is that the heavy rain is sitting in one spot. You know, you've got some lightning, heavy rain along the line, and then when you get down to southern Mississippi, it goes crazy. The lightning is just a huge burst of lightning here in Jackson County and around Biloxi. There's a very significant situation going on from Cat Island offshore and then all the way back up to Highway 90, and you can see these pockets of intense lightning. I mean, this one's just been sitting here popping and popping and popping north of Biloxi and along 57 and near Van Cleve. So rough weather out there today with the heavy rain and the potential for flooding, and also the potential for some coastal flooding as well in our area. And we're covering it here on streaming platforms. We are on YouTube and Facebook as well as our streaming platforms. All right, so we're into Iberville here, and this is an area where we've seen a lot of lightning and some heavy rain. Looks like at the minimum a lot of ponding on the roadways. I'm not seeing any major street flooding here, although it looks like the water might be, I can see the headlights kind of shining right in through here. So yeah, we are looking at some issues. And then one of the things Hannah's showing here, I'm gonna switch sides of the screen. You can see how, you know, the yards and stuff are all flooding, a lot of lawn areas and a lot of standing water along the Mississippi coast out there today. So that's going to be pretty much standard fare, I think, everywhere across the Gulf Coast today in the forecast. Yep. Looking at the beaches right now, one of the most dangerous aspects of a storm like this would be the potential of rip currents. Rip currents are the #1 cause of weather-related fatalities in our area by far, way more so than tornadoes, lightning, and even flooding. So rip currents, super dangerous. I can see a few people on the beach, but hopefully nobody's getting in the water. This is a nasty look at the Gulf. That's Perdido Pass right there. These are the rocks, the jetties. And then you've got heading back towards the Florida side there. And then this is all the coastline. And then we've got a couple of breaker bars that set up outside the mouth of the Perdido Pass. Kind of like sandbars, just where the water's not quite as deep. And look at the water whitecapping and rolling out here actually into the Gulf. That's a sign of a very rough situation when we see things breaking out there off of the pass and out on some of the bars that surround the pass. So it's a terrible situation. Also, you know, tides are a little above normal. That may actually help. I know it's going to bring a lot of that seaweed in. We've had a lot of problems with sargassum grass along the coastline here. And it looks like that, you know, this is going to play into that. It may bring more in, but it may bust it up some too. And looking at our high surf advisory, that's going to be in effect for all coastal areas from Dolphin Island to Fort Morgan, Gulf Shores, Perdido Key, Pensacola Beach, over to Navarre and Destin and Fort Walton through Friday. So through tomorrow evening, we stay in a high surf advisory. And that's why we have the problems about potential rip currents. There's a coastal flood advisory because this is not because of rain. This is because of tide. So the wind is bringing the water levels up higher than usual. And you know the usual spots. If you live in Bayou La Battery, it's, you know, Shell Belt Road. If you live in Coden, it's Coden Belt Road. If you travel between Mobile and Baldwin counties, it's the Causeway. These are roads that are closed. So we see, you know, we mentioned in the graphic possible flooding on the Causeway and the I-10 ramps. Check. We've got that going on right now. Eastbound Causeway is shut down.
So
we've got closures in other locations.
I'm just taking a peek at it. Eastbound Causeway right now has like grass on it from getting picked up and debris on it right now.
Yeah, debris usually comes in with this when we see that.
Waves are literally crashing against the wall and spilling over.
Right. So you've got a south wind that's blowing all the way up across the entire bay. And you got a lot of grass flats out here on the Tensaw Bar and the Appalachie and the Blakely Bar. And so it takes a lot of that debris and things that have come down the rivers from the spring floods, that's all getting thrown back up onto the causeway. And you've got a seawall there, but when the tide's up almost level with the seawall, there's nothing to keep all that stuff. So getting the causeway back open, yeah, the water has to drop out. Then they have to come along and actually clean the roadways to get that to work. And, we'll have to watch the Dolphin Island Causeway too. There's been some improvements there. We'll see. Also the Coden Belt Road and Shell Belt Road here, the west end of Dolphin Island, West Beach and Gulf Shores. These are all going to be areas we're watching out for tides above normal in the area. And that's why we have that coastal flood advisory. It's not a coastal flood warning. This is not a hurricane, but it's a very significant tropical storm type situation. Even with the storm itself having been named post-tropical last night, the results are the same. Doesn't matter whether it got a name or not. It doesn't matter that the name is, that Arthur is no longer. The remnants of that are getting sheared off into our direction and are ours to deal with. These are your wind gusts out there right now, 25 to 30 miles an hour. Is that a gust to 28 in Pensacola? You can't get the tide to fall when the wind continues to wall the water up and funnel it. Mobile Bay is almost in the shape of a funnel here, and so it just forces the water up. And really the orientation of our coastline and the shallow nature to the waters is what causes the potential for coastal flooding in our area, more so than some other parts of the world. Yep. Heavy rain going on out there right now. A lot of warnings, a lot of watches, and we're covering it here with team coverage here on Fox 10 News. Looks like we got Nicholas in the pod now. And Nicholas, this is something you've been covering here on Fox 10 News since this morning. What are you seeing?
Yeah, this has been a busy time for us. And we're monitoring just how this line is progressing across the area. And I'm here with Hannah. We've been watching all of this. But what we were just looking at, we were regarding some of the coastal flooding stuff that happened. It was the water splash over the causeway there. It's something usual, but it's always something shocking to see.
Yes, especially with the fact that it is still a work day. A lot of people, actually, we've been seeing notifications on our app and in the Slack chat that a lot of people have been getting off of work early because of the way the weather is going. My brother, he just told me he got off of work early because of the deteriorating road conditions. It's just safer for people to be sent home now before it gets worse. So. And you can see that on a lot of our cameras. Traffic is slowly picking up. One, it's lunchtime hours. Two, a lot of people are being sent home early. And three, it's just that time that a lot of people are on the roadways. So the biggest thing, obviously, is going to be the flooding. Do not take the causeway at any point. We just obviously saw the camera there, and we're seeing issues. We even saw, I think it looked like either a stalled car, possibly. We don't know the details of it, obviously, but there's a car that should not have been there that was there, and that's the issue there. So take the Bayway or take the long route. Obviously, we've been talking about some road closures as well.
Yes.
Here's a look at our traffic tracker.
So I just wanted to kind of pull up, and if we can take this full, I wanted to show what we're looking at. So, of course, eastbound, it doesn't show that it's closed on the traffic tracker, but yes, it is closed right now. And that's the main show. That's the main deal right now, the closed eastbound of the causeway. Now, you can also see that there's traffic building up into the tunnel. It's raining down there. It's just not the best situation, so just keep that in mind. It's not going to be the easiest place to get around. I'll show you some of our live cameras right now from different areas. What we're looking at right now is our Daphne camera. Notice the rain is not that bad right now at all. This Daphne camera, there were times earlier where it looked like complete, I mean, you could barely see anything. Wow, was that a lightning strike off in distance? So still seeing some lightning and thunder, but one thing you can't see is the skyline. There's a little bit more rain as you get over to Mobile, and yes, you can see some flashes of lightning there. I'm going to hop over to our Battleship Memorial Park camera here to show you a couple things. First of all, look at how high that water is. Yeah, it's pushing right up against the road, and you can see how there's no cars going eastbound. All the cars are going westbound. That's because those eastbound lanes are closed right now. And you see that little orange truck. I might be able to zoom into it now that the visibility has improved pretty significantly. Zoom into that little orange truck and hopefully it focuses. There you go. And you can see it says that the water is over the road there. And you can see those vehicles preventing traffic from flowing there. And also the ramps are closed there at exit 30. Take a look at the waves down at the bottom. Those waves crashing up against the construction there. We've been keeping a close eye on all of this. I'm going to zoom out the camera now, and what we're going to take a look at here, we're going to look at the flags over at Battleship Memorial Park here, and I'll zoom that over there. And what you can see is that, I mean, the wind's not crazy, but it's blowing out of the south, and here around high tide, that's the deal right now. So you get that wind that is blowing out of the south and pushing all of that up, pushing all that water up against the causeway. That is the deal there. So hopping back over to the causeway, that is the situation. As you can see, the eastbound lanes are closed right now because of flooding. And if I zoom way in and that focuses, you can see the camera shake is also very notable there. But you can see those eastbound lanes are closed, and look at the waves, even getting a little bit of spray there right now. So a lot going on there. I want to show you right now downtown Mobile from our Admiral camera. And what we're seeing here with this Admiral camera is the traffic buildup getting into the tunnel. Here, this is getting into the Wallace Tunnel if you are trying to head back towards the eastern shore from Mobile. So, of course, heading eastbound, you can see that traffic buildup is quite a lot. So, again, a lot of impacts, not necessarily because of severe weather, but there's rain happening. It slows everything down when this kind of rain happens. So your time now is 1:46. We have team coverage here on Fox 10. If you're watching us on our streaming platforms, we have also pushed this live stream to our Fox 10 weather app. So you can always tune in there at any time. We're trying to push more updates up to the app as well. Of course, we're live now, so we're kind of focusing on that there. But the situation now is as follows. You have a band of heavy rain that is oriented pretty much right along Interstate 65 now, all the way down to Jackson County in Mississippi. We have seen some pretty significant rainfall totals with this line just off to our west. Right now, there's only one severe warning out for this line. It's for Jackson County. You can see where all of this lightning is here. The lightning, if I flash it on, I mean, there's just so much of it. And checking the velocity with this, there is some very strong wind that is tucked in on the backside of this line. So to point it out, look at this area of heavy rain, and then what you see here, there is strong wind that is happening there. And what I'm actually going to do, because this is right over D'Iberville, Mississippi right now, I want to hop back over to my D'Iberville camera, and we'll check out what this looks like real quick. So heavy wind going on there right now, and you literally cannot see anything right now with that camera. So that camera is pointed down to Central Avenue in D'Iberville, and I'm going to zoom out on this. Actually, no, it's not pointing down Central Avenue. Wow, take a look at that. That is the heavy wind going on right now in D'Iberville. This is what the line looks like. Panning the camera down, you can see how aggressively the rain is crashing against that sign there. This is essentially looking into the wind right now on this camera. So a crazy view there. You can see the lightning. I'm going to hop down the view here. You just can't see anything. I was going to see if we could try to see Central Avenue, but you really cannot at this point. So this is the view of the sign here in D'Iberville. This is on top of the Scarlet Pearl, our live camera showing you the crazy wind that is happening right now. Just really crazy stuff. So right now the velocities on radar showing around 60-mile-per-hour winds. This is, of course, an area where we have a severe thunderstorm warning going on right now. So if you're on the Mississippi coast, this is what you're getting. Also, this is torrential rainfall happening. This is very, very heavy. And if you're down there, it is not a fun situation. I'm checking velocity and stuff on another product here just to see what's going on. And really, it does look quite impressive. We're seeing velocity values around 70 miles per hour right over this camera. I mean, that's incredible. So if you are in places like Van Cleve, Ocean Springs, Martin Bluff, Gaucher, Moss Point, you're about to get hit with some very heavy wind right now. very, very impressive to see this now blowing as hard as it can through southern Jackson County. This also does include Pascagoula, so if you're watching us from Pascagoula here, and let us know where you're watching from in the comments here of our Facebook stream. But you can see here, that is D'Iberville, Mississippi. That is just on the other side of Biloxi there. You can see the heavy wind gusts around 60 miles per hour possible, with a severe thunderstorm going on right now there. So really impressive stuff. And I'll go quickly we'll go right back to this live camera, but I want to go to radar and show you the situation here. So full view of the radar real quick. You can see that is where we have that severe thunderstorm warning in place. That camera is located right here in D'Iberville. That's where the Scarlet Pearl is, and we have some extreme wind happening right now. And with this, we do maintain a severe thunderstorm warning, and that severe thunderstorm warning issued by the National Weather Service in New Orleans, that one is going to be until at least 2:45 p.m. So a pretty significant thunderstorm blowing through there. I want to switch to velocity and show you what's going on, then we'll switch back to that live camera. But you can see here, there's the velocity picture, insane amount of lightning, and here is the query as we get a new scan. This is perfect. 74 miles per hour, 68 miles per hour, 62 miles per hour, 69 miles per hour. Insane kind of wind. And hopping to that camera, this is again our D'Iberville, Mississippi camera that we're looking at. And I haven't seen, there you go. It looks like now, maybe it's a little bit calmer. I'll pan the camera around a little bit so we can see what's going on. The rain rate definitely doesn't look as heavy as it was. I'll hop over to Central Avenue and take a look down at the street there. I expect to see some flash flooding as well, because the rain was just so heavy there. Camera definitely shaking a lot here. Actually, the camera's lagging a little bit. There you go. Now panning down to Central Avenue. Camera shaking a lot. There are cars driving. I would not recommend driving in this kind of situation here. It is extremely rough right now with this heavy wind blowing through. So if you are in Jackson County, Mississippi, let us know where you're watching from in the Facebook live stream. But if you're in Jackson County, Mississippi, you have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in place right now. And the severe, that camera view is crazy. There's cars driving there. There's like a lot of cars. What are they doing? That is crazy. But you can see some pretty significant wind happening there from that camera, and it's likely that we had wind gusts of around 60 miles per hour, and I'll actually go and check a couple sources to see what the wind was like there. But hopping back to reflectivity, this is the overall view real quick, and what you can see is a band of heavy thunderstorms stretched essentially from Evergreen, Monroeville, Huxford, Wallace, and then through Bay Minette, Saraland, Satsuma, Sims, Hurley, all the way down to Biloxi. That is where we have the heaviest thunderstorms going on right now. I'm going to have to take the lightning off because it's so much. But what you see here is incredible amounts of wind. These the velocity numbers are crazy. Here, as you can see, around 60 to 70 miles per hour. And it looks like the winds maybe picked up a little bit at this live camera. So I'm going to hop back over to the live camera here in D'Iberville. Just take a look at that. And really impressive wind happening right now. And this is, of course, on top of the Scarlet Pearl, looking down there towards center D'Iberville. Look at this, it's so turbulent as well, all of the wind there. An incredible thing to see. Also, with this heavy rain that is happening, I would not recommend driving on Interstate 10 as you get into Jackson County, because that's where some of this heaviest wind is right now. But this is a really strong thunderstorm that we're seeing. Look at that thing shake in the wind there. Let's go on a radar tour. We're going to work our way up from the north and go all the way down and get an update on where everybody is looking for their rain. So here we are in Conecuh County. Heavy rain happening there. We're going to have to watch for the potential for some flash flooding there. If we look near the Porch Creek community, north of Atmore, Huxford as well, heavy rain, even a little bit of lightning. Checking the velocity here. I mean, it's strong, and you have numbers popping up around 50 miles per hour, 40 40 miles per hour. It is not the strongest that we have, but again, reflectivity shows heavy thunderstorms going on here. You can see this is Rabun, here's Atmore, Porch Creek, Wind Creek is located right there. Right along Interstate 65, some of the heaviest rain is falling right now. Let's go to northern Baldwin County. If you're near Stockton, extremely heavy rain. Let us know where you're watching from in the Facebook comments. But Stockton, Latham, all of these areas along Interstate 65 and 225 and 59, Alabama 278, all of these locations. I mean, it's pouring there. And checking the velocity. Once again, wind gusts around 50 miles per hour cannot be ruled out. A lot of folks talking about, even in Wilmer here, rain and wind happening now. Let's check the velocity here. Now, we're near the radar, and this is not the best view of it, but I would assume we're seeing those wind gusts around 40, 50 miles per hour there. Sims, you're getting hammered right now. Millertown, Cushla, all these locations. It's not a tornado threat. It's just very heavy rain and also gusty winds. And then this getting a really good view of the radar right now. You can see the wind with this on the velocity. Van Cleve getting hammered with heavy wind right now. Hurley, Big Point as well. Hickory Hills, Gulf Park Stakes, all the way down to Ocean Springs. That's where we're seeing this rain right now. And Jason, this is parts of this line seem to be producing some very, very heavy wind. I know that's not fun to drive through.
I've been noticing looking at this whole scene. Hold on just a second.
He's got to turn on his mic. Hold on. Or is it dead?
Batteries are dead.
Okay, batteries are dead. I'll talk through this a little bit there. Listen, whenever you go for this long, that's just kind of how it goes. So he's going to go replace his batteries here. But talking about the driving on Interstate 10, right now, if you're in Jackson County, don't even try. US 90, Interstate 10, don't worry about it right now. You're not going to be getting anywhere. If you're in Mobile County, we're going to check. Let me check some of our live cameras real quick. We really can't see anything from Daphne. Let me check. I'm going to take the Admiral camera. I know you're not seeing the cameras right now. I'm going to show them here in a second. Yeah, you really can't see the storms coming at you. I just wanted to check and see what that looked like there. Still heavy traffic going into the tunnel, by the way. It's something we're keeping an eye on. But this is going to come in hard, and the rain's going to come in very hard as it moves into downtown Mobile, and it will be getting to downtown Mobile pretty soon here. So that's going to be something we're watching for. Creola, Salco, Chanchula, Smithtown, Cushla, all in the heaviest stuff now. Eventually, Pritchard, Midtown, all of those locations will be involved in some of the heaviest wind. And then the heaviest wind that we see right now with all the lightning is in Jackson County, Mississippi. But Jason, now that you have fresh batteries, a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we have like thousands of batteries, so we're good. We just had to change them out. A couple of things. So the individual cells along this line are moving very quickly, but the line itself is not moving much at all. So right now we're looking at a 1 hour loop of radar imagery. So in 1 hour, this has made it, I would say, about 10 miles. Does that, are you?
Hold on, let me tell you. We'll measure it exactly. So
we're going to measure this because when we track this line, the forward speed of the line, the individual cells are going like this, but the line itself is only shifting forward at about 10 miles an hour. Nick's going to do a little measurement on it. Check it. It's
so
actually moving. It's moving 16 miles an hour on the northern end. It's moving faster up here. It's moving slower on the southern end, 10 miles an hour. So if you're sitting in, let's say, Theodore, and you're like, this thing's never going to get here. I mean, it's just hanging out. That's the problem, because it's sitting in one spot. It's only moving at 10 miles an hour. So if we do our forecast track.
This is a comical forecast track.
Yeah, this is a forecast track based on roughly a 10 to 15 mile per hour forward speed. We would have the line approaching Tolmanville at around 213, Pascagoula at 221. I mean, what's happening to the west of you in Ocean Springs is crazy, but the rain hasn't made it to Pascagoula yet. Dawes by 225, Mobile by 239. So the actual line of storms may not make it into downtown Mobile until almost 2:40. It could take 40 minutes for this to cross I-65, work down Spring Hill Avenue, and get into town. It's still holding together, so that I think it will make it further to the east. Where we think it could slow up and lag is up here further to the north. And when that happens, when it decides to put on the brakes and park, that's where we could have some major flooding going on. Right now, flooding-wise, we have a flash flood warning for 3 counties in our area. That's all of Jackson County, all of George County, all of Greene County. In Greene County, the rain rates have lowered. In George County, the rain rates have lowered, but that doesn't mean we can still see issues from some of the rain that's fallen earlier, especially around some of the creeks and the small streams. Down here in Jackson County, the rainfall rates have not lowered. The lightning's crazy, and it's just starting at Mobile Regional Airport. I mean, you get out towards Snow Road and out Airport Boulevard west of Mobile Regional and the Seven Hills area and Tanner Williams, we are getting the heavy rain in Mobile County. We've got to zoom in here with Nicholas. So Big Creek Lake is about right here, and it's pretty much terrible at Big Creek Lake. We're seeing the leading edge of the storms getting down towards Dee's Plantation and Union Church, but we've not seen it make it all the way into town. We actually are just looking at a little squall that just went over the station. We had a lightning strike with that, brief heavy downpours, but it's nothing like this wall of water that's going on along Highway 63 in a flash flood warned area where rainfall rates are over 3 inches an hour from just here around Ocean Springs all the way up to Hurley. This has been the worst part of it. And in some locations, the rainfall rates might be 4 or 5 inches an hour.
Yeah,
the
that's
radar
crazy.
might be overdoing it a little bit here, but the bottom line is, if you get 5 inches of rain in an hour, if that happens for 2 hours straight, you're done. There's no way that I mean, if you're on a high knoll or a ridge, you're probably fine. But if you're in an area where you've got a roadway that crosses lowlands, wetlands, or a flood zone, it's probably going to flood. So there's just nowhere for the water to go with that kind of rainfall rate. And the rainfall rates are also impressive further up into Monroe County and northern Baldwin County, 3 to 4 inch an hour rates showing up on our product there. So, you know, most of Mississippi, South Mississippi is pretty much flooded at this point. There are flash flood warnings up across the whole southern part of the state. It's not the day to drive from Mobile to New Orleans on I-10 or especially Highway 90. It could be quite vulnerable as you go through some of the higher populated areas. We're getting caught up with our rain rates, and so what we're seeing is this around in here, Slidell, Bay St. Louis area, north up towards Picayune, about 10 inches to a foot of rain has fallen. It's not been quite as bad yet in our area, but we're looking at 4 to 5 inches of rain in Greene County and George County. It's still raining in a lot of these places, and we saw the potential for rain later today and into this evening. And we're also seeing some secondary areas where the rainfall rates look impressive that could cause us problems as this line moves in and kind of hangs out the rest of the afternoon. So active weather, a multifaceted severe weather event for today. We're on our live streams, YouTube, Facebook, the Fox 10 Gulf stream, fox10tv.com, keeping you covered today as we have soccer going on. We've got some World Cup soccer on Fox 10 News. And
I wanted to address a couple of comments in the Facebook. Since we are streaming on Facebook, we do get that nice feedback. A couple of questions. First of all, a lot of people telling us that in Mobile, the conditions are terrible. I mean, like the rain and wind that is coming down with this is a lot. Folks wondering really how long this is going to last. Like even question like, how will my drive home from work be? So I am going to switch over, and we are going to talk about the Futurecast here. And I'm interested to see how the Futurecast is handling the initialization of this. By the way, real quick before I get to Futurecast, understand coastal flooding is still happening. Winds really strong out of the south, and that's causing some issues. Here's your Futurecast. The band of rain, okay, it's doing a much better job with the band of rain now. You can see by 4 o'clock it is moving it probably a little faster than it should, but it pushes it over South Baldwin. It pushes it over the Pensacola area. That remains to be seen if it can actually get all the way there, but this is going to be a slow process of getting heavy rain across Mobile and Baldwin County. It's not even to downtown Mobile yet. So over the next few hours, we'll be watching that slow crawl to the Pensacola area. And how long will it take to clear Mobile, Theodore, Dawes, all those areas? It may be hours of rain. this may be hours of some kind of rain. It may not be as heavy as it is right on the onset here, but I think after this thing passes you, there's going to be a long period of light to moderate rain, or at least periods of rain happening after this. That is why we've been so concerned about flash flooding, because we're going to see rain showers all the way into tonight and into tomorrow as well. Ryan saying, I just drove from Crayola to Tanner Williams and it was terrible. Do not recommend being on the roads right now. That is correct. We don't want to be on the roads right now because it is not fun. Okay, let's talk about this longer range forecast and how long this lasts. If this happens and it starts to back build and we get this band of rain that sets up here pretty much north of Interstate 10, terrible. That is a lot of rain dumping on places that, as we just showed, have already gotten around 4 inches of rain. So that's a problem. So we're going to be watching this even into the nighttime period. Jason's going to be here tracking this forever. We're all going to be here tracking this forever as this blows through. Eventually in Mobile, the rain will taper off this evening. And then it'll be more periodic, off and on kind of rain. I mean, this is 11 o'clock and it starts raining again in Mobile. Notice in South Baldwin County, after that initial band passes through, there's a bit of a break and it doesn't get as active. Now, as we head through Friday morning looks quiet, but look at the afternoon, or late morning, I really should say. It looks like we're going to start to see development happening here. And I've seen the longer range models of consistent development, especially inland, of showers and thunderstorms. That's why we're keeping an elevated rain chance on Friday there. For this weekend, it becomes normal. When I say normal, I mean your regularly scheduled pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Here are the rainfall totals with this HRRR model that we just showed you. I bet you some of these are underdone a little bit, but wherever the heaviest band sets up and stays for a long period of time, that's where we'll see some of the 6, 7, 8 inches of rain plus in those areas. So that's kind of an overview of the forecast here. And a lot of people asking, like, hey, will it be bad around 7? Will it be bad around 8? It really depends on exact location and what you're going to have to do as you're planning your drive home. Take a look at the radar on the Fox 10 weather app. We'll still probably be live streaming in some way or form. Ask us the questions then, because we have to just wait and see how the radar evolves as we go through the evening, give you the exact answer. But again, it looks like that band, and I'll go to the live radar again. It looks like this band slowly works its way across the area. So, I mean, I think eventually places like Pensacola, around 5 o'clock maybe, will start 6 o'clock, might start getting into some of this heavy rain. But either way, I think there's going to still be some kind of rain lingering into the evening time. So if you have a drive home planned, expect it to be a little bit more difficult with rain happening, and also roads that are getting pretty soaked and flooded here. Jason, live radar right now, severe thunderstorm warning continues and have flash flood warnings for Mississippi counties.
Yeah, and they're about to issue a flash flood warning for the Mobile metro area and extend it over into Baldwin County, because what's happening is we got these rainfall rates of about 2 to 3 inches per hour that Nicholas was telling you about, all along this very slow moving line, which the southern end of it is only advancing forward at about 10 miles an hour. Yeah, the individual cells are racing off to the northeast, but the line itself is just going to continue to sag southward at about 10 miles an hour. And so it's moving into a metro area. And the problems with that is when you're in the country, you've got fields, you've got woods, you've got dirt roads, you got a house here or there. But when you start to get in a metropolitan area, you've got roofs, you've got asphalt roads, you've got concrete, and the water doesn't permeate into the ground. It has nowhere to go but to add up, and it can't get, into the ditches fast enough. So as a result, it looks like we're going to see some form of a flash flood warning issued. In fact, there it is right there for Mobile County. We've got a flash flood warning now, and that's going, so you may be joining us right now because your phone is going crazy. So whenever a warning is issued for a flash flood or a tornado, a lot of times if you have the emergency alerts turned on your phone, it's actually going to alert you to the possibility of inclement weather. And so what we're seeing here is very heavy rain with a flash flood warning up for most of Mobile County from I-10 northward. So this is going to be from Grand Bay, Theodore, and the Mobile area, including downtown Mobile, north all the way up to Citronelle, flash flood warning. Flash flood warning for Baldwin County, just north of Spanish Fort, up to Bay Minette, and all of northern Baldwin County, including the Stockton area, Lottie, Atmore and Escambia County, and then up near Castleberry and into southern Monroe County. So this is a large flash flood warning. This flash flood warning is going to stay in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. So we have a flash flooding situation that could be ongoing for the next 4 to 6 hours. And that's because the line that is moving in is moving slowly. It's containing high rainfall rates, and it may actually stop and build back across the area. So it may not just keep moving into South Baldwin County. At some point, this thing is going to put on the brakes, and where that happens is where we're going to see the biggest concern with flooding. Now, right now, the heaviest of the rain has made it to Mobile Regional Airport. So from Mobile Regional Airport west on Airport Boulevard, it's terrible. Also, Moffett Road, Sims right now, you are experiencing this now. All of Sims is covered in mostly red and orange, meaning very heavy rain. Wilmer, you're on the back edge of it, but now this thing has made it almost all the way down to University and Highway 98. Lott Road from near 8 Mile all the way back up to almost Georgetown. You're in it. 158 University of Mobile, the Cushla area, Highway 43 almost to Chunchula. Highway 43 from Highway 45 from Cushla almost to Chunchula. Highway 45 from the Chickasaw area all the way up through. So here it is. I mean, we saw this not too long ago, a couple weeks ago. We had a flood event in Creola and Saraland. Hopefully it's not in Satsuma. Hopefully it's not as bad as it was last time, but you are in that high precipitation now, and it doesn't look like it's going to change probably for at least another hour. So, and what we're concerned about is some folks, it may not change for a couple of hours. It may be 3 or 4 hours before it changes. Up into northern Baldwin County along 59, Stockton, Latham, you're in the heavy rain. That is starting to edge down here towards Cliffs Landing, Hurricane Crossroads, and Bay Minette, and then the heavy rain continues. Okay, I-65 from Mobile to Evergreen. No, don't do it. Just wait, because it is terrible for travel right now along the entire length of Interstate 65 right now. Just awful for travel here. So there's the travel element to it, the potential for accidents, ponding on the roadways, localized flooding. There's the lightning aspect to this. There's a lot of lightning going on in the area. We also have coastal flooding, which has shut down a couple of roads in the area, including Coden Belt Road and Shell Belt Road in Biola-Battery, and the Causeway eastbound because tides are above normal. The surf is terrible today. We have a high rip current danger in our area, and that's something that if you can share this post with somebody, if you're watching us on social media, if you're watching it on the Gulf Stream, send somebody a text. If you know anybody down at the beach, stay out of the Gulf today. It's horrible because of the remnants of this tropical storm, and it really may be several days before the Gulf calms down some. I mean, it could easily be Sunday or Monday, and you can see how churned up it is. You've got winds driving the swells up, the tides above normal, and all of that, and this is all coming in off the Gulf, and you can see that's Perdido Pass right there. There's that breaker bar out there off of Perdido Pass. We want to show you what's happening on the Causeway too, if we can see it. Right now, the one thing I can see is I can see cars traveling in one direction. They're able to go from Baldwin County to Mobile. That's westbound. Eastbound is closed. You can't see the water across the road right now because we're in a blinding rainstorm right now that is in this area, and these downpours are a little bit more spotty, so this may lighten up here in a little bit. The camera's also shaking. You can see how it may have just gotten a little bit lighter right there. Camera's also shaking. Okay, I can start to see the waves breaking here along the bulkhead, and so we just temporarily had that downpour. This is not the wall of rain that's happening over West Mobile, but you can see the spray popping up some there, and then that's putting water all along the eastbound lanes. So eastbound lanes are closed right now. Nicholas?
Yeah, what I'm doing is I'm cycling through some of these cameras and I'm keeping a look at the traffic situation because there are quite a few traffic issues. Keep letting us know where you're watching from in the Facebook chat, by the way, and try to provide you the updates. What you can't see in this is way off in the distance is a wall of rain. So that's why you can't see the skyline there in this view. I'll hop over. This is our Dolphins camera, which is about to get into some of the rain. I'm going to start moving this Dolphins camera around a little bit because there's a few things that I want to point out. First of all, we'll go down here, take a look at this. That is the traffic that is building into the tunnel here. We can take this full if we want. That is the traffic that is building into the tunnel if you are heading eastbound. Look at the exit. People are, I've never seen it back up like that. And take a look at people trying to get off as well. So an incredible shot of crazy traffic trying to go right now to the east, trying to go eastbound through the Wallace Tunnel. That is where we have some heavy buildup of traffic right now. These people are about to get caught in this heavy rain and this kind of traffic. That's not going to be fun. So if you know anybody that is on the roads right now, let them know that, hey, heavy rain is coming and it's about to make this drive that's already going slow a lot more difficult here. As you can see, the traffic building into the tunnel there as I move the camera around, get to the mouth of the tunnel here. And you can see the traffic trying to go around the bend. Zooming the camera out right now, we're going to go switch around. This is looking off to the north, Water Street and the Mobile River, and you can see the rain that's happening off in the distance. If I pan this over to Interstate 10, we can actually get a view of Interstate 10 here and see what that traffic looks like. So you can see the Bayway off in the distance there, and I'll get to it and we'll zoom in and see what we can see. The lens is a little foggy right now, but it looks like a lot of traffic on the Bayway there heading eastbound, even a little bit of slowing down. Reminder, that ramp that you see, I'll point it out, this ramp right here, well, that's not the one you can use, this one right here. The speed says 45 miles per hour on it, I think, maybe 35. Go slow on that ramp. If you are getting onto the Bayway, please go slow on that ramp. That is not an easy ramp to take, especially when it is wet. So just please be careful out there. That is what it looks like right now from that live camera. I'm going to check elsewhere real quick. I want to show you what it looks like downtown on Government. And what you see is traffic that is building into the Bankhead Tunnel now. And I'll pan this around. This is not going to be a great situation. If we have a lot of people on the roads, stuck on the roads, as we see heavy rain that begins to start happening. Take a look at the line of cars that is trying to get into the Bankhead Tunnel. That goes way back. And this is the area that is about to get more rain. So you see how wet the streets are. They are about to get even more wet right now. Quick look at Traffic Tracker will give you an update on where the situation is worst. Of course, it looks like eastbound Interstate 10 is just terrible right now, trying to get into that tunnel. There's not a lot that you can do. And also getting into the Bankhead Tunnel is not a great situation right now. Bayway is slow. It's not terrible, though. You can do the Bayway. Remember, eastbound on the Causeway is not doable. It is closed. So once again, flash flooding is a major concern soon as this line moves in. And I do want to point out, I know a lot of people talking about where they're watching us from, and I'm seeing reports power surges as well. People saying it's getting worse in Sims. I'm actually going to check the wind pretty soon. Just now hitting airport in Schillinger, in Saraland, Irvington, Mobile. A lot of people watching. Let's get a look at the tour of the radar now. Once again, you see that maroon polygon. That is the flash flood warning. Right now in Atmore, right along 65. If you have to hit 65 near Atmore, no, don't do it. It's a little too heavy right now with the rain. Stockton, Bay Minette right now, 225, 59, all of those roads there. A lot of lightning with this. I'll check the velocity, and it looks like we could see wind gusts here around 55, 50, 40 miles per hour. That is not out of the question here. Taking a look at downtown Mobile. This is Saraland now getting to us there with the heavy rain. This is Satsuma High School, Saraland High School, now on the onset of the heavy rain. Pritchard, the rain is moments away from you. Midtown, the rain is moments away from you. Here at the Fox 10 studios, it is less than 3 miles away from us right now, and it's moving slow, but it's eventually going to get to us. The airport right now, I'm going to check the velocity around the airport just to see what the wind looks like, and we'll query it. It's not going to be that strong as we're seeing away, but 22 miles per hour, 47 miles per hour, 31 miles per hour, 40 miles per hour. So that's going to be a consistent thing. You're probably going to see some kind of damage there. If you go aloft in the storm, the wind gets crazy. Wind gets all the way up to 75, 66, 65 miles per hour. And I'll tell you how far aloft this is in the storm real quick, because I'm going to check it on the second source here. The beam height here is around 1,000 feet. So 1,000 feet up, you're seeing winds at around 75 miles per hour in these storms. Some of that can get translated down to the surface, and it's really quite rough. Now, we're starting to see a little more lightning output in this as well. And as we've been tracking, I mean, Jason, you tell me, this looks like more lightning than what it was before.
Yeah, on I-10 right now, my two sons are driving on I-10 in the Iberville area. They've been averaging about 20 to 30 miles an hour with their speed on the highway there. So that's going to be, they're right in through here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're actually not quite to the heaviest part of it yet. The heaviest part of it's going to be between Iberville and Pascagoula. But what that's doing is, I mean, the good news is everybody's slowing down on the interstate. That's where we run into problems, is when people try and go too fast, when it's ponding on the roadways. It's just a terrible idea. But what's happening really more into our area is what's going on here. The complete onslaught of the heavy rain has now made it. It's coming down Airport Boulevard now. I mean, this is the line right here from Grand Bay and I-10 all the way up almost into Midtown Mobile here, right at I-65 and I-10. So as far as Airport Boulevard, it looks like it's made it about to University, and it won't be long. Let's see, there's University and Airport right there. So the heaviest of the rain has made it to Cody, and it's made it to Hillcrest, and it's right at the edge of University. It hasn't quite made it to I-65 and I-10 yet. And then you can see the heavy rain at Spring Hill Avenue and Moffett Road and Interstate 65. And then up here, Shelton Beach Road area getting rocked. In Chickasaw, you're right on the edge of it, but it's just a matter of minutes before it fills in. Saraland and Satsuma, we're in the crazy rain right now. I mean, look how red that is. And this is a highly, highly populated area. So the flood threat's actually going to be a lot higher in this area than it was when it was in some of our more rural areas earlier today, because of all the infrastructure, the roadways, the concrete, the asphalt, the rooftops, and all that. That just creates a lot more runoff. If you're in Fairhope right now or Daphne, you're just getting light rain. You got a windy day, breezy day. Loxley, it picks up a little bit. The heaviest of the rain is north of you, and it's going to be up Highway 225 from about Hurricane northward, from about Crossroads northward, and up to Bay Minette. And the radar image just refreshed, and I don't see any reason why this line's not going to keep crawling forward at about 10 miles an hour, Nicholas. It has not put on the brakes yet. We know there's the potential for it to begin to put on the brakes at some point this afternoon. It may be starting to do that a little bit up here around Bay Minette on the northern end, and that's been an area we've been most concerned with, is that we think something's going to set up there. This is downtown Mobile, and we've not seen the heavy rain band getting into downtown Mobile yet.
What I want to remark about, I find this interesting, you can't really tell that it's coming at you there. I mean, like, right. I was expecting to see maybe a little bit of shelf cloud feature or something. I don't see that. It is just a wall of gray.
Well, I think it's a little bit rain wrapped, and so a lot of times you'll see If you've got it where it's a sunny day and then a big storm's coming, the contrast between the bright areas and the darkness under the cloud can tip you. There's a little bit of a cloud there.
Yeah.
You can see a little darkness there, but it's not that much grayer underneath the heavy rain as it is just outside of it. So it's not as well defined with that initial edge. And we've seen showers. I mean, it is raining in downtown Mobile right now. It's not raining as hard as it is over West Mobile, but all that's underneath this dark stuff back here. Yep.
And I will also say, let's check in on some of these other cameras. This is the area. And here's the thing. I don't know if you can see it back there. I-10 is moving very slow, but there are a lot of people on I-10, and that's a problem there. Let's take a look at Daphne right now. That's the view there, okay? Downtown Mobile, look at all the people on Interstate 10 going eastbound. I mean, that is a large amount of people on the roads, and they're going to have to deal with that. There's Orange Beach, Pensacola there. Hopping over D'Iberville is out. Okay, we have lost that D'Iberville camera. Taking a look at downtown Mobile right now. This is with our Scarlet Pearl camera. What you're seeing, pretty heavy, or not yet heavy rain, but pretty heavy traffic that I could see going here into the Banka Tunnel. And that's where the rain is coming soon. So if you're watching us there, if you're listening to us, understand that if you're in your car right now about to get into the Bankhead Tunnel or get into the Wallace Tunnel and you're heading eastbound, the rain's slowly chasing after you and you're moving pretty slow as well, so it might catch up there. Let's go ahead and take a quick tour of the radar. We really, I don't know, Hannah, if you've seen, we haven't had any new alerts. Have we?
Not, no.
No. So right now the only thing is this flash flood warning. One thing about the wireless emergency alerts and flash flood warnings, for the triggering of wireless emergency alerts, like the automatic alerts on your phone, base flash flood warnings do not do that. But if this gets upgraded, it will buzz your phone. The ones that have buzzed your phone so far have been the considerable ones just off to our west. But right now, this is a base flash flood warning. Could see it upgraded just a little bit later. So let's go right into Mobile, where the rain is moving in, and checking the velocity again. And it's starting to pick up a little bit here on the north side of Mobile near Chickasaw, where we're seeing winds gusting up to 58 miles per hour, 49 miles per hour, 48 miles per hour. I would not be surprised if soon, if this continues, that we see a severe thunderstorm warning that'll get issued. Would not be surprised for that. Right now, the beam height there is 200 feet. Okay, so 200 feet up right now over the Delta and over Saraland, around 200 feet up in the air, we are seeing winds. We are seeing winds of 55, 51, 53, 44. So that's about 200 feet up in the air. And that's what the radar is measuring right now. So that's some pretty significant wind right now. Checking down at Theodore, Dawes, the rain just moving in now. The rain is literally just about to cross Interstate 10 right now, probably crossing Interstate 10 right now there. It is about to get to us at McGowan Park, and I wish I could show you that camera, but I don't have the ability to show you the camera outside right now. But it is about to get more interesting, and I can kind of see the creepy clouds. I'm just kind of peeking at it right now on a separate screen. So the onset of this will be telling for us here just how bad it is. And of course, you've been letting us know in the Facebook comments how this is going. This is slowly moving to the east. If you're in Daphne, Fairhope, as Jason mentioned earlier, it's going to be a while before it gets to you. If you're in Pensacola Beach, this may struggle even to get to you. Maybe 5 p.m. I mean, it's going to take some time to get there. So this is the camera outside right now, and I swear I just saw a power flash in this building. Here we go. So this is the camera, and what you're seeing right now is, I think power is surging. I think that was a surge because all the monitors are flashing. Interesting. Anyways, that's what you're seeing right now. And take a look at this. There's a little bit of shake to the camera now, and we'll watch this. So right now, what the camera you're looking at is, this is at McGowan Park. So this is near Topgolf, what we're looking at there, the Dick's Sporting Goods. This is at our Fox 10 studios, and we are seeing the onset of the heavy wind and also the rain here. And there you go, the rain's starting to move in, the wind is starting to blow. We're going to keep an eye here on these trees. This will be a great tell as to how windy it gets. Wind starting to pick up in Midtown. Haley, how bad is it on Government near Costco? Well, this is literally looking towards Costco. So this is literally how bad it is right now. So the rain's about to start here in a second. If you watch in the distance in the parking lot, you'll see the rain starts to advance to this camera here.
Yeah, I don't know if we can pull up if we have any Stormtracker trucks out on the road right now. It'd be interesting to see now that it's getting into the Mobile metro area.
Yeah, I do not know what we have out right now. By the way, time now is 2:30. You are watching live coverage of strong thunderstorms moving across our area. And oh my gosh, that is construction debris blowing in the wind as the wind gets extremely strong here. Take a look at this. See the fag fully extended. Look at the construction site. You have stuff blowing off of the roof here on that building right now. Wind extremely strong.
So this is in downtown Mobile at the...
This is us. He's here.
Oh, that's at the station.
Yes.
I can hear it. Yeah, this is going to be the leading edge of that squall line. Okay, so you're talking about where the new hotel's being built.
Yes, that is that new hotel construction there.
Yeah.
One initial very strong gust of wind here that just blew in. Camera's getting a good shake right now. There's our roof that you're looking at there. The wind blowing through the trees. Again, this is what it looks like. That was a really strong gust at the onset of this. And I want to see as the wind goes how much wind continues to blow here through this. And the velocity product right now over us is showing winds getting into Midtown right now around 50. That's what it has, the velocity at 50 right now over our area. So as this is blowing in, actually I'm going to take a quick excursion. I want to see what blew off of the construction site there.
Yeah, you can hear the rain on the roof now, and so we're getting into most of Mobile is getting into the super heavy rain now.
Looks like that sign blew out there, and it looks like...
Okay, yeah, well, that was the sign that they had hanging on the fence that blocked your ability to see traffic coming in from the right. So that may have actually done us a favor.
What you're looking at here is the parking lot of the Costco and Dick's Sporting Goods. There's that Costco. I don't want to be getting gas out there right now. That would be fun. Take a look at that, though. I mean, the trees are really blowing in the wind right now. You know, after that initial brush of wind, though, it does look a little calmer. I want to check now the cameras that we have in downtown Mobile. I'm going to check here. This is our camera at the Admiral, which should be getting hit here in a second. So it looks like downtown Mobile hasn't gotten hit just yet. While we're waiting for that, I'm going to quickly go to reflectivity. I'm going to show you where the rain is now. Load, come on. Here's where it is right now. And what you see is heavy rain, high reflectivity going right now. This is Midtown Mobile. That's McGowan Park. We're just getting the rain now here at the Fox 10 studios. Pritchard, Sims, hello, power. Come on, stay with me. Right now, Pritchard, Sims, Saraland, all dealing with heavy wind and rain right now. Velocity product shows winds gusting up to around... Oh, where's my query tool here? 50 miles per hour seems to be the trend here. And it looks like the wind's picking up for us here. I'm going to switch over to the Admiral camera. So there's the camera here. Yeah, it looks like Admiral isn't getting crazy yet. So we're just going to wait for that one. That's what it looks like in the rain right now. Velocities over us showing 50 miles per hour. So just a little bit aloft, the winds are really strong. And some of that occasionally is mixing down to the surface here. And as this wind blows through downtown Mobile. Don't want to neglect other areas here. If we hop off to the north, it's still very windy. Stockton, oh gosh, the rain's so heavy right now. And there's even a little core of lightning. And there it goes.
All right, well, let's just take it full.
Yeah, there you go. So what you're seeing right now is the live camera on top of the building, which still has power. Thank goodness.
And we should have a generator kicking in a matter of seconds. So we're
there it goes. So we're going to leave it on this camera while we get power back, because that took down Max, by the way.
Did it?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just stay on the live.
Oh wait,
camera.
no, it's on here. Okay, good. Whew, we're back up. So you can see occasionally the gusts are getting a little bit stronger there right now. But what I was looking at near Stockton, it looks like there's a little rotation starting to perk up. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that as well. So let me check. Now I want to check the Admiral camera again and see what it looks like here. Here's the Admiral camera downtown Mobile as the lights are doing a Stranger Things kind of thing here in the studio. Yeah, if we can take this full, look at this. Heavy rain now getting to downtown Mobile there, and I would like my second monitor to work because I need to operate the cameras. I think that one just went out. So what you're seeing here, this is downtown Mobile, and you can see the heavy, heavy rain that is falling here, and that is in downtown Mobile. This is on top of the Admiral looking towards essentially Cathedral Square. You can see the cathedral off in the distance there. So this is going to be like this for a while. Wind gusts of around 50 miles per hour cannot be ruled out. Right now we do not have a severe thunderstorm warning with this. Tunnel. Dolphins. This is Dolphins. Social experiment. Okay. Let's go to social experiment camera. This is downtown Mobile. Oh my goodness.
See the rain being pushed by the wind, and obviously we're dealing with some traffic right now, but you can really see the pooling that is now starting to form on the roadways just with the wind pushing it there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you're sitting in traffic right now, you are about to get a lot of rain in a pretty short period of time here, and that's going to create some other traffic issues. Sorry, I'm typing and doing this at the same time. But yeah, as you can see, the rain situation is just not great. I'll go quickly back to reflectivity here, and we'll see where this is going. As I'm trying to get some computers back up here. So here's the live radar. Lots of lightning and thunder with this, but right now downtown Mobile, you are in this. Velocity Products shows winds gusting around 46, 46, 43, 59 miles per hour, just a few hundred feet in the air. It's about 200 feet for a beam height right now near hurricane. So almost feeling like a hurricane right now as the wind blows through. 225 is right here. That's about to cross 225. Your next road is going to be 59 and 31 near Stapleton, White House Fork there. Also, keeping an eye up near Stockton. This is starting to catch my eye. Lots of lightning in Stockton, says Sonia in the Facebook chat. There is a little rotation here in this, and it's weak, it's very broad, but you can see here, very broad spin here over Stockton, so I'm assuming a lot of wind, and the lightning output is just epic with that right now. Constant lightning. I'm sure that we're seeing power outages caused there. Jason, it's honestly a little surprising that we don't have a severe thunderstorm warning, maybe just below severe criteria, but this is not easy to drive through for all the folks that are on the road.
No, it's terrible, and right now I-65 from the Evergreen area all the way down to I-10, and then I-10 basically from Spanish Fort all the way back to, I don't know, Slidell. It's terrible right now. So there are some high traffic roadways that are heavily impacted right now. Also, in-town streets, the heaviest of the rain has made it into Mobile now, and we're going to see localized flooding. If you live around here, you know what I'm talking about. Midtown Mobile, Airport Boulevard, areas out in West Mobile, there are places where if the rain comes down hard enough, it cannot find its way into the drainage ditches fast enough, and we see ponding on the roadways. I mean, trying to look at this camera, it may be down. Okay, that is actually a camera. I can see some traffic
That's the
coming.
Bayway.
That's downtown Mobile, so bad. It's raining so hard you can barely see. There it is, downtown Mobile at street level. And I think this is a social experiment camera.
Correct.
So that's going to be Government Street, and you see that the traffic is backed up. The reason why the traffic is backed up is maybe these folks don't know, but the eastbound Causeway is closed down. So of course Government Street's going to be backed up eastbound because everybody's having to be forced up onto I-10 if they want to continue eastbound. So that's creating a real bottleneck over on the other side of the Causeway. Terrible traffic situation going on right now.
Switch to Traffic Tracker real quick.
Yeah, the Traffic Tracker will show us as we bring it here. There's the delay. So multifaceted delay. We've got a closure on the Causeway. Coming off the Cochran Bridge and down here off of 90 and into the Bayway area as well as the Causeway, moving super slow. Now I-10 is backing up. This may be one of these days it backs up all the way to DIP. We'll see. Right now it's backing up to Michigan Avenue, so that's a substantial delay.
Actually, I just saw it just updated, and it got worse as you were saying that.
Right, it's back. Here's DIP right here. It's backing up almost to Brooklyn, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Real quick, I just want to hop back up to the north because I'm getting questioned about because I did mention this. Here's the live radar as it loads in real quick, and you're going to see we do have a lot of wind going on near Stockton. It looks like the rotation that I was watching earlier doesn't look as strong. So not a concern there at this moment, just lots of lightning. Just wanted to kind of point that out real quick. Velocity product shows some insane wind with this thing as it's blowing through here. University of South Alabama, Kansas points to the east all the way to downtown Mobile. Range line, Theodore, now you're really getting in on some of the heavy rain. Also near DIP, seeing reports of power outages. I'll check the power outage maps in a little bit here, but it makes complete sense that we would be seeing that kind of stuff because, I mean, this is some very, very heavy rain that is going on. After a power outage, I'm having to reconnect to all of our cameras so I can start moving them around here. But right now, downtown Mobile seems to be the focus. Yes?
See much going on because of the shaking of the camera for one, and also the heavy rainfall.
All right, so we're going to USS Alabama Battleship Memorial Park and go. And this is what it looks like here. The rain has just gotten to this camera now, and you can see quite a heavy shake there. And I'm actually trying to navigate myself to that camera so I can move it around. But you're looking at the Causeway, and we're about to get a wind direction change here on the Causeway. It's no longer going to be southerly. It's going to be a quick change to a wind that's out of the west as this storm blows in. And this is the view right now. I'm going to try to zoom around a little bit on it. Almost complete whiteout. I'm going to pan over to the ship here so we can see what it looks like. Look at the rain blowing over the grass there. A couple of cars parked. And there it goes again. Darn it.
Our power just went out again, but we're back.
Yeah, so, but you're still looking at the camera, and you can see, look at the flag off in the distance there. That flag pretty much fully extended in this wind right now. We'll check another camera. This is Daphne, and we'll check another camera. What am I looking at there on Interstate 10? It looks like some kind of traffic vehicle. It looks like that's flowing with traffic there. Here's the look from our Dolphins camera, and you can see the wind wrapping around the building there at Dolphins, heading down to street level. This is what you can see there, and you can see the heavy rain that is going on. And wow, look at that little wind gust there. So folks still trying to navigate through all of this right now, but definitely not the most fun situation here as now we have the rain that is moving through. We'll go back to radar real quick and take a look at what's going on here. So here's the latest radar as it is loading up here. So you can see still have a severe thunderstorm warning for Jackson County and Mississippi, but right now some of the heaviest wind and rain is happening over Mobile, where winds are definitely gusting up quite a bit. And it looks like on the back side of this, you have some other heavy rain that's continuing to go here. So the actual line itself is about, at its thickest point here, about 25 to 30 miles. That's 25 to 30 miles of rain. If you're going to drive through it, 30 miles to get you through it. That's taking hours to get across. This is going to be raining like this for a while, and that is a concern for us there. So that's what it looks like downtown Mobile. I'll clear that up. In the last couple of seconds, still lightning popping left and right here. Looking up near Bay Minette, Atmore, Stockton, still some heavy rain going on here near Little Rock, Wabeek, Rabun, Bay Minette, Stockton, still with heavy rain. Little areas of kind of weakness, maybe a little bit of rotation, but nothing that is super noticeable at this time. The velocity over the bay is just not fun right now. And y'all are talking about the power outages. Halls Mill, McVeigh, Pritchard, power keeps going on and off near GIP. A good day to have a generator in this case here. So here's the view across the area. I'll kind of leave this static for a second and then we'll loop it. Looks like maybe the lightning output, no, the lightning output's still terrible, but maybe less than downtown Mobile, especially out in West Mobile. But look up near Stockton, just a ton of lightning there with that stronger part of that thunderstorm. Right now in Fairhope and Daphne it is quiet, but eventually, probably within the next hour or two, this will be getting to you in Fairhope. And hopefully for some of you that are in Sims now in Wilmer, the rain is weakening for you. I don't think the rain is going to end, though. It looks like we're going to keep some light to moderate rain going on, and that's why we have a concern for flash flooding there. Looking at the rainfall rates in this thing, absolutely incredible. So this is a different product actually assessing how much rain is falling per hour, and 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, if I cherry pick it, 6. So as you can see, heavy rain is falling with this thing. And looking at our accumulation so far, wow, the accumulation has gone up pretty significantly here. We are now at over 4 inches for places like Stockton and Latham along Alabama 59 there. Quick note here, lightning struck a power pole at Schillinger and Tanner Williams. And that's the kind of stuff. By the way, this is how I live. Thank you. We're just chugging along here. So, but take a look at that. That is the updated rainfall over the last 12 hours. And it looks like North Baldwin County has gotten way more significant with the rainfall totals. And that's quickly adding up. Looks like now in George and Greene counties, we now have a spot here. That's 8 inches. Near the Leaf River, 6 inches there. So these numbers have come up pretty significantly. And we expect them to continue going up, of course, there. But you can see that's different than what we showed just not too long ago.
The radar estimated precipitation starting to add up. We're also noticing a little more reflectivity showing up in the area of, I'm making sure my mic's on here, and I have batteries. So we've been seeing an uptick in some of the rain in Wayne County, Mississippi, and it'll be interesting to see if some of this pivots back down into Greene County. Hopefully it doesn't, but that is definitely a possibility. So big flash flood warning going on right now, and it's most of I-10 and I-65 from Mobile West and then Mobile North on I-65. And along that, we're also getting some incredible lightning that's going on too, and that is working along the line. You've got heavy rain, you've got heavy wind, you've got lightning, potential of flash flooding. We still have some coastal flooding going on the Causeway and Coden and Shell Belt roads. What Nick did is he just did a survey of the area, and within this red box right here, we've had 1,476 lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes. So that is a lot of lightning going on right now. The purple or maroon boxes, I guess would be the best way to describe it right here. These are all flash flood warnings. Greene County, George County, Jackson County, a good portion of Mobile County along I-10 and northward, northern Baldwin County, and flash flood warnings. The flash flood warning here along I-65 in the Mobile metro area is going to be in effect until 8 o'clock. So we've got a flash flood warning here right now, and we are looking at heavy rain going on I-65 and I-10, and unfortunately this line is moving so slow that once it moves in, you've got at least an hour of heavy downpours, and there may be some locations where it puts on the brakes and stops. We haven't totally seen that yet. It continues to make some progress, which is actually a positive thing. We're not wishing this on people. It's just that the more it moves, the less likely it sits in one spot and creates the flooding problems. Another thing that we probably haven't talked about in the last 10 to 15 minutes would be the surf situation down at the beach. We've had a report of a drowning. The water is, there's no reason to put your toes in the Gulf at all for the next couple of days. We've got surf heights 5 to 7 feet, and we've got a dangerous rip current situation going on. The Gulf is angry. One of the things I see is there are 0 boats heading out Perdido Pass right now. It looks like there are a few folks walking on the beach, but fortunately no one is in the water. The water is closed. It is a double red flag day. It is extremely dangerous with the surf. And we are looking at some incredible waves going on. There is a high surf advisory in effect until tomorrow evening. So we've got a high surf advisory for those 5 to 7 foot waves through tomorrow evening. I would expect a high rip current danger through at least Saturday. With the approaching band of rain, we're seeing winds beginning to change direction a little bit. And because we're getting some outflow from the actual thunderstorm itself, a 33-mile-per-hour gust out of the southwest at Mobile Regional. And we're still seeing pretty steady gusts in that 20-plus mile-per-hour range. So Pensacola right now, a 26-mile-per-hour southerly wind. That's what's creating the coastal flooding problem. And the rip current problem is a really strong south wind. And this is really just a leftover sheared off band that came off of Tropical Storm Arthur. So that's what's caused all of this. If you're just tuning in or wondering where did all this rain come from, well, there was this, really weak tropical storm, but sometimes that's all it takes to tap into the Gulf moisture. Sometimes, you probably remember this with Hurricane Danny if you were here in the late 1990s. It's not about the wind sometimes. It can be about the water. And in this case, it's about the rainfall. And that's often the case with slow-moving tropical storms. If the setup is there, they can create big headaches, and it may be way away from where the storm actually hit as far as the center of the low-pressure area. The low-pressure area came ashore around Houston and Galveston and dissipated up here into northern Louisiana. But the moisture, because of the strong upper level winds, has sheared all that off. And shear is normally a good thing because it reduces the organization of a tropical system. What it is, it sheared all the moisture off in our direction. And so that's why we're seeing, this overview just really tells the tale. And that's what's happened. It's brought this thing in our area. And it's this trailing band. Watch how it kind of loops through. And then we see this trailing band that's in our area. We're concerned that it may want to kind of park itself over the area this afternoon and this evening, and that could create more flooding as we go into the evening hours. Here's what's on the slate for Fox 10 News today. We have Fox 10 News at 3 p.m. coming up in about 9 minutes, and we're going to make some kind of transition to a stream to that here coming up soon. We also will have coverage. We may do something between 3:30 and 4.
I was going to say, right now, I believe the plan is that we are going to stay with this through 3.
Okay.
So we're just going to welcome to Fox 10 News at 3. This is what we're doing.
And then we have Fox 10 News from 4 to 6 p.m., which we'll have our storm trackers out in the field. We're going to have more comprehensive coverage coming up then as well. And most likely we're going to be streaming if we're still in soccer. Are we still in soccer?
Yes.
Yeah. World Cup soccer is going on right now, so you may be watching the game and watching us on your phone, and that's great. We encourage you to do that. There's a lot of ways where you can keep track of the weather now, not just through traditional television. The digital option is always there. And looking at it, we've got a lot of lightning going on in Jackson County and in Mobile County and in Baldwin County. Heavy, heavy lightning. So right now there's a high concentration of lightning over Mobile Regional Airport. There's also a high concentration of lightning near Biloxi and Pascagoula. A lot of lightning in Baldwin County. It's getting closer to Bay Minette. The lightning is heavier near Stockton and in the Rabun-Perdido area, a high concentration of lightning. I-65 continues to be awful, awful, awful from Evergreen all the way down into Mobile. It might be a little lighter. One good note is that the heavy rain is beginning to wane. It's beginning to shut down in Satsuma. I know if you're in Satsuma, Creola, that you were worried about this storm because we just had some significant flooding. Well, the way it's setting up right now is, I know you're under a flash flood warning, but the heaviest of the rain is not currently going on. It didn't stop right there in Creola and Satsuma. So we're looking at a more manageable rainfall rate there. And it looks like this band may be a little narrower than it was earlier when it was over southern Mississippi, Nicholas. You can kind of see it's about 15 miles wide. So if it's moving at 10 to 15 miles an hour, it takes about an hour for it to move through. It is 30 miles wide over Mobile, so that's a good point there.
Yeah, like kind of that. Look, if you look at that angle of attack almost, it looks like. You got to think all the storms are moving like this, and the mean motion of everything is just slowly off to the east. I wonder if we're going to see a corridor, maybe some heavier rainfall totals in central Baldwin or central Mobile County, central to southern Mobile County with this here. I'm going to have to keep an eye on how this evolves. But yes, around 15 to 30 miles is the width of this heavy band of rain. But you pointed out something, Jason, really smart that was zooming out and looking what's happening over Wayne County and seeing the redevelopment or the continuation of more showers. And I wonder if this might be another piece that starts to dive down and generate more development of showers and thunderstorms, which is going to be a problem for us as we go into the even early nighttime hours. So if you're down near the coast, this is hopefully going to pass through over a few hours, and then eventually we start to see a slowdown of things. We go into the nighttime period, but some forecast models have shown a corridor just away from the coast of heavy rain continuing into the nighttime hours. So that's going to be something we're watching for there very closely. But again, right now the driving situation is not great. I want to check some of the cameras here, and we'll just kind of go through this camera view. That is downtown Mobile. And actually it looks like just kind of moderate rain. The wind is not as strong as it was. Still some wind happening right now, Battleship Memorial Park, and you can see the flag is fully extended. Now rain getting to Daphne here, and you can see a lot of folks on Interstate 10 still. Interstate 10 is not a fun drive right now. Here is our Dolphins camera. You can see the heavy rain is falling there, and that's the heavy rainfall. Look at how wet the roads are, and you can even see the ponding happening on the side and the drainage happening on the side here of government. So it is a very, very heavy rainfall situation, not a fun situation to be in right now. Other reminders for you: very rough surf down at the beach. If you're down at Orange Beach, it's going to take a while before this rain actually gets to you. If you're in Gulf Shores, it's going to take a while before this rain gets to you. Real quick, as we're at 2:56, I want to run through Futurecast real quick. Here's the deal. Futurecast rolling through 4 p.m. There's your band of rain now starting to get closer to Pensacola. It may not be until 5 o'clock until it gets to Pensacola. 4 or 5 o'clock. That's how long this is going to take. And then you start to see that stuff that's up in Wayne County starts to build down. This model is actually doing a pretty decent job with this. And that's going to be our concern at 6, 8, 9, 11 o'clock tonight. If that band sets up, that's an additional heavy amount of rain for our area as we go into the overnight period. And here's that rainfall total forecast. Look at North Mobile County here. Wherever that band sets up, over 8 inches of rain. So that's going to be a flash flooding situation that we're going to be tracking. Jason, into the nighttime hours. This is going to be a long day.
That's concerning. Yeah, there's been this potential in the models. We've been looking at it for a couple of days, and if you saw that 8 inches, it may not exactly work out like that, but it just shows us the potential is there that some locations you've seen a ton of rain, but you may get another half a foot of rain. You may get a little more than that. So there's definitely the potential in this kind of a setup, and it's a convective pattern. Exactly where the heaviest rain sets up still remains to be seen, but we can tell you where it's going on right now, kind of where it's headed. A couple of things that we're noticing here: there's still a ton of lightning and heavy rain between Biloxi and Grand Bay on Interstate 10. It looks like this line is dropping down into Grand Bay now, so it's starting to get onto the north side of town. Most of West Mobile is getting absolutely rocked with heavy rain. I've been watching some of the traffic and the traffic speeds through Mobile right now, and there's a lot of locations where the traffic is moving less than 10 miles an hour. So that's just because there's so much flooding going on the roadways. In the Dawes community right now, getting tons of heavy rain. Theodore and Tillman's Corner at the Fox News Studios, you've got this This red band right here, I just heard it pick up on the roof, and that verified. We're also starting to tap in to some of the lightning strikes, which are actually heavier out towards Mobile Regional Airport. In downtown right now, we are definitely getting the more impressive rains, and there's some pockets in here where we're still seeing higher rainfall rates. One of those is right on the Mississippi-Alabama line, where we've got rainfall rates in excess of 3 inches per hour. Also, it's possible that we have some of that going on right now in Mobile, and just checking it here, 2 to 4 inch rainfall rates per hour, and we can't handle that in places where there's a lot of roadways, concrete, rooftops, and not a lot of drainage ditches, and they get clogged up really fast. So we'll be watching for some localized flooding likely going on in Midtown Mobile as a result of this. That's an area that normally floods. It's getting over into the Baldwin County area pretty quickly. So Spanish Fort and the Daphne exit at Interstate 10, you're tapping into the heavier rain. We've not seen this drop down to Daphne and Fairhope yet, and it could be a while before it makes it down to Fairhope. This thing is not rapidly expanding in your direction, but I think Old Town Daphne will be getting the heavy rain soon. We've seen it cross over into Stapleton now, so you're getting rocked with heavy rain. The northern end of the line has actually made a little bit faster progress than the southern end of the line, which has been sagging a little bit. I would say that the heart of Mobile will probably be in the heavy rain through at least 4 p.m. So it's going to be another hour of what's going on right now. South Baldwin and the beaches, the only thing you really have to be concerned with right now is the rough surf. We've got terrible surf going on, but look how things have improved here all along the immediate coast and the beaches.
All right, so
here comes Nicholas.
Yeah, I'm coming in here too. So it's 3 o'clock. This is Fox 10 Live. This is what we're going to do. We're just going to keep rolling with it.
And it's a streaming version of it,
Yes.
so because of the soccer game.
So we are streaming right now on Facebook, Fox 10 Gulf Stream. By the way, if you're watching us on Facebook, we do have that chat pulled up. We're also streaming live on TikTok. We have over 600 on TikTok right now. Hannah's going to come in and join us as well. And it's full team
coverage.
Yeah, it's full team coverage here as we're doing this. This line is slowly moving through. It's been a pain for us. It's slowly moving through.
It's even affected us here at the studio. We've lost power twice. A lot of people are saying they're receiving power outages as well. We're even getting some reports of flooding. Sorry, I had to take the batteries out because my mic also died literally like a couple seconds ago.
Mine.
So luckily we do have batteries. We're good to go, especially to continue on now that we're in Fox 10 Live. But we've been getting reports of power outages from people, flooding in Midtown. I just saw in the Facebook group chat, and like we just saw, this is a very slow-moving storm. It is not going anywhere. It is sitting over Mobile County at this time, and it's producing a lot of lightning as well.
You said that you had a damage video or photo that was sent in.
So
what was that of?
This was sent in from Natalie Williamson. I can actually pull it up real quick, and we can talk about it real quick. But this was
Natalie
sent in.
is one of our reporters, and so she's been out in the field. We're going to have more and more reports from the field, especially as we get into Fox 10 News at 4 and 5 p.m. And Nicholas is actually pulling up some things as well. Radar remains very active along Interstate 65 and I-10. The heaviest of the rain is in southern Mobile County. And here's a look at some of the damage on Ann Street in Mobile. So,
yeah,
and that's Ann without an E. I believe that.
Oh, that was my fault.
This is going to be Ann Street in Midtown.
We have to manually type all that in. It's not
right. Sure.
That's a big branch, though, and this could have been anything. We saw when the line originally came through our area that it was crack, bang, stuff was flying off the construction site across the street. And I mean, that can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think that looks like it's got water oak written on it right there. I can't tell if it's a pecan or water oak, but those are the kind of trees that we normally see this issue with. Yep.
I'm not sure. I'm looking at the leaves whenever it pans over. Sadly, the fence there, so hate to see that, but
that's going to be in Midtown, Catherine, and those are north-south streets that connect between Government Street and Dolphin.
Yeah, so this line now, as we take a look at it, it's still raining hard in Mobile. I've been checking some of the live cameras right before we went on. It doesn't look like maybe it's raining as hard, and the wind is not as strong, which is great news.
Yep.
But like even here at McGowan Park, we're still getting tons and tons of heavy rain. So there's two factors to this: the main line, which still has the flash flood warning, and then whatever starts to build back here as well that you mentioned. That's going to be a concerning thing as well.
And this is all part of the remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur, which is no longer a tropical system. The low pressure area came ashore in Texas, but because of the way the upper level wind flow pattern broke down with this one, it displaced all the rain way out to the east. Well, the problem is that's us. Today, it was Louisiana last night, and so we're looking at the potential, strong potential. We have a high risk of flash flooding in our area today. There's a flood watch in effect. There's tremendous amounts of moisture in the atmosphere.
Oh, look at that band.
And it's slowing down. It's doing almost exactly what the Futurecast said it would do, is that it would kind of get a little bit more of a comma shape to it, and then that trailing band would just settle in along the coast today, and that's the way it's setting up right now.
Yeah, so looks like that band right along 65, we were talking about it earlier, no driving on 65, we would not recommend it, even though there's a ton of people on Interstate 10 right now. A shocking amount of people, really. The traffic is like really quite backed up.
Well, we talked about it a little bit earlier. We were getting reports from people saying they were let out of work early because the roads are slowly deteriorating, and we're seeing all this flooding happening. So a lot of people, especially we saw city officials were let out of work early too, because we're trying to get people out and ahead of this before it gets worse. And we already have the flash flood warning in place. Would not be surprised with that second band coming behind it if we continue to see more flash flooding like we have in the past, and it's just sitting over us. So yes, we're seeing about 2 to 3 inches of rain falling per hour, and that's over the same location. We're seeing training thunderstorms almost, but also the same band. It's moving at snail's pace at this point. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, and the rate of rainfall is just so high, 2, 3, almost 4 inches, 5 inches of rain here. So if you're sitting in that in traffic, the ponding's just so fast.
Let's check some live cameras if you can pull them up.
Yeah, so let's look, because I want to see.
I'll step back so folks can kind of see.
Yeah, so what we're looking at here, and actually if we can take the Mac system full there you go. So what we're looking at now, we'll go through some of these here. You can see downtown Mobile. This is going to be downtown Mobile or Admiral camera.
Whoa.
That's heavy rain.
You can barely see anything.
You can see the windows poking through in the bottom right. That's how you know the camera's at least working.
I think, okay, I remember where I put this camera now. That is looking towards Regions Arena. So that is looking towards the arena right now.
The headlights are trying to poke through. You can see it a little bit there in the distance.
That's such heavy rain. There's thunder over us right now. Wow. This is USS Alabama Battleship Memorial Park. And you can see just how rough it is there.
Just sheets of rain.
Yeah. That's not fun to be through. Daphne, hello. Daphne, right now what you can see is a lot of folks on the road still there, and it's not just the most fun situation. Here's that Dolphins camera. I panned it up to the moon pie because that's like the only thing you can see right now. Definitely very heavy on the lens there. And downtown Mobile, the final view here.
Ooh.
And we're still seeing that wind pick up the rain on the roadways there. It is just, do we still have traffic going into the tunnel too on top of it?
Yes, on the Wallace Tunnel.
Okay, so that's part of that there, but either way, it's not looking good in downtown Mobile. So this is basically the same picture we saw about an hour ago.
So quickly, I'll show you what the traffic tracker shows here. This is the situation. Coming from the Cochran Ackertown Bridge all the way down, government. Are we to DIP yet? No. Well, kind of. It's moderately slow all the way down to DIP there, going all the way into the tunnel. Eastbound Causeway, closed. You're not doing it, there's water over it. That's just the deal right now. Actually, one of the spots that's looking better right now is the Bayway. The Bayway is actually not looking that bad right now. I mean, it's slow and it's not good to drive through, but that's the situation there. So the traffic situation, not great as all of this rolls through right now. I want to go back to that damage picture, though, that you got, Hannah. We'll kind of go to the top of this here. This is, once again, Ann Street in Mobile. Natalie Williamson sent this in. This is the kind of stuff that we've seen. And I want to say this because if you have pictures and videos, please send in your pictures and videos on the Fox 10 weather app. If it's you're in a pinch and you want to just send it to us on Facebook Messenger, we can get it that way. It's a little more of a cumbersome process for us, but we can make it happen. But we need these pictures and videos.
And not only that, we need them for our use to be able to give y'all a visual on what we're seeing. It helps us tell you what we're seeing. It also adds on to the threats on why we're telling you what we're telling you. But also, the National Weather Service uses these pictures and videos as well. Because at the end of this, they're going to do a summary on this event. Not only that, we had a couple tornado warnings this morning as well.
A couple.
I say a couple very lightly. We had about 6 to 8 tornado warnings this morning, and at some point when all of this is over, we still got quite a bit till it's over, they will go out and send out a team to assess that damage, and on top of that, they'll be able to tell if it's tornadic damage or straight line wind damage, because that's another thing we're seeing with a lot of these severe thunderstorm warnings. This morning between 8 to 10 a.m. we were dealing with tornadic supercells, and now we're dealing with damaging winds and flooding, but we can't rule out the tornado threat just yet. We still have that tornado watch in place till about 5 p.m. We have a couple counties shaven out. We have Greene, George, and Washington County. They have been taken out of that tornado watch, but the rest of us are still in that until about 5 p.m. And then, Nick, you mentioned earlier the Storm Prediction Center said we could maybe possibly extend that maybe for our inland counties.
And I bet you if they extended that, well, actually, you can see what they did. They pushed it over there. So now the Wiregrass, southeast Alabama, is included in that tornado watch. The maroon polygons here that you see, these are the flash flood warning polygons, and you can tell where it is set up worse.
And some of those are flash flood emergencies too.
Well, let's query them and let's figure out which ones are which.
They might be still. Some of them did expire at 2:30. We may have added on to them, I'm not sure, but this morning there was flash flood emergencies in areas that were just outside of the Fox 10 viewing area, like Stone County. They actually had water rescues going on because of the flooding that was happening off to our west over in Stone County and other Mississippi counties as well. So, okay, they still have the catastrophic tag on that until 4:15. So that actually means they extended that, because originally it was until 2:30. And it says observe. Nick, do you want to go into a little bit of detail? So obviously we have radar indicated, but then we have observed. What does that mean for a flash flood warning?
Well, of course, that is, you have police, emergency management, public. Your photos and videos, all those, the Weather Service will take in those reports and actually use them, and if they actually observe or see flooding somewhere, they get a photo from it, or emergency management or police says, hey, I saw flooding here, they will add that observed tag to it. So here's a lot of these alerts, and you can see the variation here. Also, wireless emergency alerts. I know a lot of you use your phone to get alerts, and a lot of you have wireless emergency alerts turned off on your phone. And I'm not going to completely go shame on you, but because I understand it's not fun, but these are essential alerts. And the way they do it is, if a flash flood warning has a catastrophic tag, a considerable tag, which we don't have an example of here, it will wireless emergency alert your phone. It'll automatically go. It'll push through everything and say, hey, there's a flash flood warning. The base flash flood warning does not go out, but you can get the base flash flood warning on the Fox 10 weather app. So
yes,
another reason to download that. But again, that's the summary of all of the alerts happening right now. We'll go back to radar. We'll go rain rate, and then we'll go to totals, because I want to see how the totals have evolved as well. So here's live radar right now, and a few things that we're dealing with.
Still a lot of lightning too.
Yes.
Like originally it looked like it was going down just a smidge, but one thing the Storm Protection Center has let out about this line that we're tracking right here is it's not weakening, it's stabilizing as it is, and has the potential for strengthening. That's one of the reasons why they also pushed out that tornado watch out to here, is because we could start to see this line kind of have pockets of many areas of rotation, kind of like what we saw this morning.
And we were kind of watching some of that in the leading edge here. But what I'll mention, first of all, 1,500. If it was 15,000, that'd be a problem. 1,500 lightning strikes right now over the last 15 minutes in this line here. The slow motion of this really not helping our situation out. It is still raining heavy in downtown Mobile. Look at the core of lightning in downtown Mobile as well. I'm going to check the velocity there. Just want to check and see. So this is the velocity. This product measures wind. Yeah, that looks pretty rough. Now, the beam height, I'd have to go to the other computer and check that, but this is getting over probably around, right around 1,000 feet in the air for the beam height here, but your velocity is measuring at 1,000 feet almost 70 miles per hour. This is near Bratt, Century, Flomaton, Little Rock,
Atmore probably just felt it.
Yes. So especially like if you were at the top of the Wind Creek in Atmore, you would have felt some of that wind as the line moved in there. So 65 is not a great drive right now. Just very, very rough. But understand, some of this can still translate down to the ground. If we go closer to the radar site, you'll notice that the colors are not as bright because the radar beam is actually measuring closer to the ground. This is about maybe 200 feet off the ground. 200 feet off the ground.
That's probably about 30 maybe.
Let's see. That's the lightning query, not the velocity query. 48, there you go.
That's still pretty
46, 47, 39, 43. So that's that there. So the wind is still an issue, but also rain is an issue here. As I clear those out, you can see right now, and I've noticed some of the totals have been really going up here in North Baldwin County, and that's going to be a concern here. Here's the rainfall rate, and you can see all that pink color. I mean, that's
yes, and that's
rain.
getting to 3+ inches, and
Yes.
a lot of that, the purple in there, that's about 4 to 6 inches of rainfall per hour. So basically, these thunderstorms are dropping just all of that at once. It's not. The one thing the one thing about this system is we're bringing in tropical moisture. So the rainfall totals on our systems, like HRRR, when we were looking, they were the most accurate, but that's because it wasn't picking up the tropical moisture from the remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur, and that's getting added into this front that was stalled over our area that brought in rain the last few days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday it rained, and then that front stalled over us, and then this tropical system came in as well. So not only did we have that instability and energy from that line that's front originally, but then we brought in the energy and instability from the remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur.
So this is a summary of the last 12 hours rainfall totals. I'll comment. So last night I got home. I actually slept immediately when I got home, got up around midnight, 1 a.m., and was able to watch the chaos that unfolded across southeast Louisiana. Multiple tornado warnings, and I think we had probably a couple significant tornadoes there, at least notable not EF0 tornadoes there. So it was a really active situation. You could tell what was happening. All that was coming up towards us. And then Slidell to the northeast, Pearl River, near the Pearl River in Pearl River County, all these other border counties here and parishes. Man, the rain just started, and that was the fire hose, the fire hydrant that some of us have been calling it here that we've seen. And I'll query some of this, and this is where that band originally set up,
yes.
Remember, and I'll query some of this, but it was not fun, as you can see. Here we go. What we're seeing, where's my rain query? These numbers are over 10 inches, 12, 10, 12,
That's
6.
almost 13 in that location.
Yes.
And also keep in mind, these counties that you just saw 10, 12 inches of rain, those are under those flash flood warnings, a couple of them under the catastrophic as well. This is Stone County right here. They're not in the Fox 10 viewing area, but ooh, that was significant. But anyways, they're in that catastrophic flash flood warning, which makes sense. I mean, look at the rainfall totals. And because of that, they had some water rescues earlier as well. They put that in our National Weather Service chat.
13.2. In
13
Stone County.
Exactly. This is Stone County. That's where that emergency flash flood warning is, and that'll be in place till about 4:15. Would not be surprised if they extended it. We also have to see what that second band that's starting to form near Hattiesburg does and how it drops to our area specifically. We'll have to see if it's a slow mover, a fast mover. HRRR kind of has it at a medium pace right now, but we'll see what ends up happening there.
We're going to take a quick peek at one of our Stormtracker cameras. We've got Natalie out in the field right now just to kind of show folks what it's looking like. And we're not exactly sure where she's located, but this could be out in the Sims area around some of the plant nurseries out there.
And that's where we saw
looks so-
flooding
looks like-
last time too.
Yeah,
This
and-
exact area, this is where we saw a lot of flooding.
So
too.
you can see that, you know, we've had a lot of rain in a short period of time. Fortunately, the rainfall rate's a little bit lighter in that spot now compared to what it was earlier.
And it looks like near Sims, it's around 4 inches, what our radar estimated is over the past 12 hours. And that's the view there. And it looks wet. Like that looks like a gravel road, and you can see how many puddles there are there. A lot of folks still out on the roads right now, but again, just got to be careful if you're out driving. So Sims about 4 inches there. Tell you Saraland 4.2, 5.5 as you go north up towards Axis, almost to Mount Vernon. Then if you look in Baldwin County, some of these totals, Stockton almost 7 inches in the last 12 hours. Sims, okay, good guess. So you can see there, 4 inches is fallen. That's what's going to get. That's what it gets you there. Folks in Stockton, north of Bay Minette, Tensas, north of 65. That's 7 inches of rain there. So I mean, it's been a pretty heavy spell for us with the rainfall. So again, that view from our Natalie Williamson with our Fox 10 Storm Tracker, that one near Sims right now.
There's a lot of lightning too. You can see that on the camera. We're seeing those flashes there. Sure, it sounds loud on top of it over there. She also sent us some pictures and videos from that area about, I would say, 30 minutes ago. And she sent us a picture of one of the storm drains there, and it is just gushing out water. At this point, it really doesn't know what to do with it at this point. You can really see the pooling happening on the gravel roads as well. And you can see the moving water there off to the right. That is that storm drain trying to push it out, but also at the same time, there's nowhere to go. And it's right next to a roadway too, which is not a good sign.
Yeah, so again, flash flooding is an issue here. Just keeping an eye on the other sources right now to look and see if we've had anything extra. Right now, a couple local storm reports here, but no warnings with this. We're just kind of holding steady as is. I do want to go back to radar real quick and show this if we can. This was the area, so that's where she is. And that was around 4 inches there. This is over the last 12 hours. And these are the totals that I was talking about earlier. Stockton around 7 inches. And that's a problem because it's still raining there, and that's going to lead to some higher totals as we go through it. So once again, we have a flash flood warning that continues for portions of Monroe, Conecuh, Baldwin, Escambia, Alabama, Escambia, Florida, even a little sliver of Washington County all the way down to Mobile County. Flash flood warning, flash flood warning, flash flood warning for Jackson, George Green, just outside of our area, Harrison County, and a flash flood warning as well, and a flash flood emergency for Stone County, where we've had reports of water rescues. So not fun situation there. Here's the updated severe weather outlook for today. As you mentioned, we've been keeping an eye on damaging winds and the potential for tornadoes. That's a level 2 slight risk, still keeping it for our area, and something that we'll be watching. And then this is the flash flood risk today. And I was mentioning that this is one of the first times that I have seen almost our entire area in a high flash flood risk. I can't remember the last time I saw a high flash flood risk.
I cannot either. I mean, even in my experience, not here, but in general, being a student meteorologist, it's even a lot to see this 40%, this red. That, I mean, it was starting to show that earlier in the week, but seeing that purple, that was pretty significant. And then that is why we have the particularly dangerous situation flood watch. So not only we have flood watch, but then you go up a level to a PDS flood watch, which we are seeing in certain areas. So a good example of this, we're under this watch for what's happening in Stone County right now, where we're seeing catastrophic flooding, dangerous flooding, life-threatening flooding. So that is what that PDS tag adds onto it in regards to that flood watch. So it's not just a typical flood watch, then you got to think about the PDS part of it, where it could become more considerable and catastrophic.
It's a messaging tool for them to say, hey, this is really significant stuff. As we loaded this back in, we're getting the new population of lightning. So if I go back in time, it should repopulate some of the lightning data. There you go. It looks like areas that are still intense with lightning right now and heaviest rain. Look at that kind of south central part of Mobile County right along Interstate 10. If you're in Theodore, you've been on the edge of this rain for a while. It looks like now maybe you're starting to get some heavier stuff here. Spanish Fort's also becoming an issue. Now that's where we're seeing some of the heaviest rain falling. Perdido here. Just to the southwest of Atmore. You can see a lot of lightning there in northern Escambia County, Florida as well. Atmore and Bruton now in heavy rain as well. And we're starting to watch this second line that's setting up back here. That's going to be our next thing that'll add to our rainfall totals there. Hannah, I was going to say I might swap over there real quick. I want to check some of the live stream chats. So if we want to swap real quick, I want to head over there and check some of the live stream chats real quick.
Okay.
So Hannah's going to drive the radar and talk to y'all for a little bit because I'm going to update. All these monitors went away again for me here. But Hannah's actually going to go back and talk a little bit through what's going on right now.
Okay, so the easiest way to do it, I'm just going to do a reset on what we've been talking about. It's now about 3:24. We're still in Fox 10 Live. We're streaming, right, Nick?
Yes.
We are streaming Fox 10 Live because we have the World Cup on right now. If you're just now tuning in, we are still tracking this line from remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur, but also we had an stalled front off to our north that gave us rain the last 3 days. So a lot of moisture in place, a lot of instability in place, a lot of energy in place. This morning we had we had about 6 to 8 tornado warnings. Some of them were brief, but some of them did pop up on our debris tracker, so it'll be interesting to see what that turns into after this event when we get those reports in. But right now what we're worried about is the flash flooding. So this line that we're tracking here, it's a very rowdy line. You can see a lot of lightning is being produced. It's actually knocked out our power a few times here at the Fox 10 studios, and a lot of people are saying it's loud, it's rowdy, power is getting knocked out, and we're also getting some pictures of damage as well as this line is slowly making its way off to the east. As you can see, it is not moving very fast at all. I think when we measured it earlier, it was about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So that's one of the reasons we're seeing the flash flooding that we are getting. So right now, I'm going to move this into now, and then I'm going to put up the flash flood warning. So as you can see, we have the flash flood warning in the majority of the Fox 10 viewing area where this line is currently sitting over. So Baldwin, Mobile, Clark, Washington, Conecuh, Escambia, and Monroe County, and then parts of Florida are starting to get slowly trimmed into it. That's that line right here. It's in multiple different counties as of right now, and that is because we're seeing rainfall totals of 4 to 6 inches falling at a given time, and there's some areas where we're even seeing reports of 7 inches of rain. So we're going to have this flash flood warning in place until 8 o'clock tonight, and depending on what ends up happening later on with this second band that we're tracking well off towards Hattiesburg, you can see it is strengthened quite a bit in the last hour, so I'm going to play it just so you can kind of see the evolution of it. There wasn't much lightning with it originally just an hour ago, and now we're seeing that it is starting to get a little bit of strength behind it. The HRRR did pick this up. This is one of the things that the Storm Prediction Center put in their discussion a couple of hours ago, that we'll be keeping an eye on this for the possibility of rotation, especially in our more inland areas as it slowly moves in. So it's starting to pick up a little bit there, but we're still tracking this singular line. We're not going to see any rotation really with this line just because it's a little too linear, but we have seen some damaging winds with it. There's a few severe thunderstorm warnings issued earlier today, but right now it's close to severe severe thunderstorm limits. We've been seeing wind gusts of about 40 to 50 miles per hour with it.
Go to the
velocity.
Yeah, go to velocity, and then next go to the Dolphins camera, because that's showing stuff. And then we have an update to the tornado watch that we'll talk about as well. Before we get to that, there's your velocity right now, and you can see just how heavy some of the wind is. This white color here is pushing around 50 miles per hour, 50 plus miles per hour. Now, this is aloft in the atmosphere, but it's still at 79 for velocity. Now, that's not at the surface. That's hundreds of feet up. But if Flomaton Century, you're about to get some very, very gusty winds here. Over Mobile, 48 miles per hour. And I think we're seeing that right now in our live cameras, 40 mile per hour velocity. So exit out of that and go down. I want to check out the Dolphins camera real quick, because that has been an interesting one. I saw the wind smacking around the moon pie there at the top of the Dolphins, the RSA Trustmark building there in downtown Mobile. So there it is. Oh, it is not as crazy as it was a few moments ago. What I was seeing is sheets of rain coming around the side of it there. But that's your Dolphins camera in downtown Mobile.
Still an issue with visibility, though. That's another big thing, is a lot of people are out on the roadways. It's getting to that hour where people are about to get off of work. A lot of people got off of work early. We have another hour or so until people get off, and we're still seeing issues with road closures because roads are flooding. We saw issues on the Causeway. Do not take the Causeway, please. Just don't.
Eastbound is the one that's closed. So yes, and I want to actually elaborate on some of the road closures. So from Sims Police Department, Lot Road between Spice Pond and McCrary Road, it's starting to flood. Not closed, but starting to flood.
And we're seeing it. This is downtown Mobile on our Admiral camera.
Also Stone Road, by the way.
Yes.
Ooh.
And I'm glad I just pulled this up because it did not look like this when we had it pulled up about, what, 30 minutes ago? Not even.
That is bad. So we actually also got comments and questions on our live streams regarding traffic. So I think let's go ahead and get through the traffic tracker. Let's see. So here we go. TikTok chat, y'all need to calm down. I'm watching you. So take a look at it here. So as you can see, eastbound Causeway is closed.
And they finally put the purple on there.
Yes.
It was not there originally.
Also, this is to show that the ramps on exit 30 are also closed. Take a look at it here. A Cochran Aftertown Bridge coming down. If you're trying to get through there, it's just extremely slow. Every single way trying to get eastbound, it's all funneling through this one spot here. The only way you're going to get eastbound right now is if you get through the Wallace Tunnel or get on right before you get on the Bayway. That's the only way, and that's what's causing the backup, because everybody is having to go funnel through this one spot to go eastbound right now, and that's the only way. Now, the Bayway is actually not looking that bad. That is why that looks like that. That person's really close to the end of that car.
Yeah.
But what you can see is this backup goes way, way, way.
Yeah, that's not reflection.
Back.
That is actual headlights. They're just so close together. It's looking batched up in that corner there. So on top of it, with everything we're dealing with now, traffic is now becoming an issue because the weather is causing closures, and there's not very many places to go if you're trying to get over the bay. And we're seeing that right now. That is basically bumper to bumper and getting into the Wallace Tunnel, and then we're seeing those issues over at on our camera as well. So this is a look at the Bayway from our Gators camera. Not bad flow going towards Daphne, but obviously you could still see that. And we lost power
Not again. Oh, why does that keep happening? So the lights will come back on here.
Don't worry, you'll be able to see us in just a second.
But what you're looking at here, this is Daphne here, and wow, it really went out. But you see the traffic.
We did get a surge a second ago, and I'm like, maybe that's it. Nope, it was not.
But still, once you get on the Bayway here, it looks like traffic finally does start moving on the Bayway, which is good news for us here. Checking out the Facebook chat, I think Wall Street off Hillcrest is flooding. Folks out driving saying my car is shaking. Ken saying power out on Dawes and McFarland. Picking up again in Midtown a little bit. Yeah, I think the wind on the back side of this has been something there. All right, one place that it has not started raining yet intensely, that is Orange Beach. And that is where we're dealing with very rough surf conditions. Dangerously rough surf. I want to give you a reminder that we have a high surf advisory. The waters are closed right now. You cannot go into the water.
And you can see why. So if you're looking at the water, some people kind of don't understand, well, what is a rip current? Why? Like, how do I look out for them? You see all that white there and off in the distance as well. that is a big no-no. Those are things that can suck you under the water. Water is a very powerful thing, and it may not look like it from this camera, but you don't want to get into that. Like Jason said earlier, don't even put your toe in the water. It's just not worth it. We unfortunately have already lost a life yesterday from the dangerous rip current risk, and his family is in our prayers. Unfortunately, that is not what we want. We do not want to lose lives over this. This is actually one of the #1 killers along the Gulf Coast is the rip currents. So that's one thing to note there. We're going to have a high risk of rip currents continuing tomorrow as well as Saturday. Obviously, it's not great right now because Tropical Storm Arthur's remnants did contribute to churning up the Gulf, and this is going to continue over the next couple of days as well.
In the TikTok comments, Ava saying the waves are huge, and I mean, you can see that very clearly there. Also, a lot of people reporting power outages, power going off and on again.
Like what we're seeing here.
Yeah, and I think that's a consistent thing here. Hopping over to the Facebook chat here, power out, wind and rain picking back up in Midtown. Let's go back to reflectivity and go to radar real quick. I want to see what's going on out there because I noticed that on the live cameras too, that it looks like the wind on the back side of this is still pretty strong.
Which I guess could make sense just because of what all is going on in between that band, the one band we're tracking, and also the secondary band that's forming behind it. So it might be, I'm curious to see what's going on in this little break right here. Is it picking up in wind? What exactly is going on? Because we can see that this is strengthening, this secondary band right behind it.
Yes, by the way, if you are watching us from places like George County, Greene County, and the flash flood warning, let us know your reports, Washington County as well, and also let us know what's going on there. If you're in Fairhope, actually I will say Fairhope now, starting to get into some light-ish rain. There's the first couple lightning strikes that we've seen near Point Clear and to the south side of Fairhope there. Yeah, winds picking up in Midtown and the power is flicking. Let's go to Midtown here. And let's just zoom in right there, and we'll check the velocity and whatnot. So Midtown's right here, and this is USA, Medal of Honor Park. Check velocity. And I am very curious what it looks like. Huh. It almost looks like there's kind of a secondary batch of heavier wind there. So what we're looking at is the wind, and our radar sites right here. I have the wall so I can do this. The wind is literally blowing this way, and it's moving towards the radar here. So that's why you're seeing it green, and then red moving away from the radar here.
And actually, let's put up some numbers just to see what we're working with a little bit here. Obviously, the brighter the color, the stronger the wind. That's one thing to note here. We're right next to the radar site, so it's a little bit more accurate than when we were looking at Atmore a couple of minutes ago. So I'm going to pull up the velocity tool so we can see it.
Should be down in there somewhere.
Yeah, I skipped it on accident.
Okay. By the way, quick question regarding 43. Just kind of looking up north, still in the heavy rain there, and we'll check reflectivity in a second. Here's a look at it. So 64, 64, 55, 58, 45, 48. Now this is not far off from the ground, so I can see why people are saying that the wind is getting stronger there. Let's hop back to reflectivity because I want to see, and you can clear those off. Okay, so here's USA's campus. It looks like there's been this kind of, let's put that into motion. I want to see if there's any back building happening in this thing. So here's an hour.
I'm going to do it for our next hour. It's on 4 right now.
Okay, here's hour. And what you're seeing, again, that little circle is the airport. It looks like for the past hour, if you're on Dawes Road, you have gotten torrential rain nonstop. Let's zoom in out just a little bit. Right now, if you're near Pritchard Chickasaw, you can see here, kind of on the back edge of the heaviest rain. If you're going to drive up 43 or 45, you're about to run into lighter rain, which is good news there. But this is starting to get a little concerning here, how that is
oh yeah, I-10 is backed up from I-65 all the way to the tunnel now, eastbound.
And that's what we saw on our cameras about 5 minutes ago. That was.
I want to see that again.
I would say let's pull it up.
Have you seen the Admiral camera yet?
I have not, but let's check it out.
Yeah, you need to see this. This is the most backed up I think I've ever seen.
And it just kind of popped up too, which makes sense. We just Yeah. On both
that,
ends.
and it looks
It's
like
red
they're
both
stopped.
ways. There's an accident there also.
So there is?
At Canal, affecting travel westbound. There's an accident. So, yep, it's looking terrible out there on the roads. I didn't realize that just got popped up right there. I'll pull up the traffic tracker. We'll talk traffic a little bit here because this is a major element to this. And we've got major delays and accidents. And so zooming in here, I-10 from I-65 all the way to Mobile. I'll see if I can bring it up big enough where you can see it over my shoulder. It is backed up from before DIP now. It's backed up from I-65 all the way into the tunnel. We also have an accident that's affecting travel coming over from Baldwin County now. This is the bottom line. Don't drive unless you absolutely have to in the Mobile metro area right now. Just give it some time and let this thing settle down. We've got reports of flooding in the roadways of Midtown Mobile. We've got major backups and delays on the interstate. The Causeway is closed eastbound trying to go to Baldwin County. That's what I'm showing right there. So that road that's purple, that's the Causeway shut down. You've got extreme thunderstorm winds going on the Bayway. So who wants to be on the Bayway right now? Just give it some time. Just wait. This will eventually get better. We're also seeing slow travel off of the Cochran Bridge. So the whole area is experiencing these thunderstorms, but really the worst of the travel is in the Mobile area that's going on right now. Just heavy rain going on, and that's going to continue. Let's see here. We'll go back to radar. And first I want to do is show you how much we've seen, how much rain we've seen. And this is starting to add up now, where we're getting some yellow banding in North Baldwin County. We're in. There's a new flash flood warning that was just issued, so we're going to bring that up. Okay. So the new a good portion, more than 50% of the area is under a flash flood warning right now, and the new flash flood warning is going to extend from the eastern shore across Baldwin County up into Santa Rosa County and into Escambia County, Alabama. So we're under a flash flood warning for this one here, and that's going to be until 7:45 p.m. tonight. There's another warning that is just north of that one that is in effect until 8 p.m. So essentially, if you're along I-10 in Mobile County or in Baldwin County, you are under a flash flood warning until just about 8 o'clock. That's going to extend up I-65, all of northern Mobile County, all of northern Baldwin County. The northern sections of the Panhandle are included in this. So we've got a really tough situation weather-wise out there today. These showers and thunderstorms are moving very slowly, and they're very heavy. There's a lot of lightning within them, and you can see along the warned area there is a new band that is just setting up. It extends from Grand Bay and Mobile over to the eastern shore and all the way up into Baldwin County and into northern Escambia and Santa Rosa counties. I'm going to turn the loop on. This is a 1-hour loop, and there has been some progress with this line of storms. It's been slow, but the overall line is only moving at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. And in some cases, the line is almost 30 miles wide. So you could get 2 hours of very heavy rain with this kind of setup.
Also, people are saying that the wind has gotten just terrible.
In Mobile. I just saw it out the window here at the studio.
Yes, and by the way, Ron is back there now. If we want to pop up the Fox 10 tower cam, you can, as I'm reading these out. But tree fell on power line near McFarland Road, near Johnson Road. Power line sparked, wind and rain bad in the area. Folks saying that no power lines are swinging in the heavy wind. That is the kind of stuff that we've been dealing with. So it looks like we're having a little bit of feedback in here once again. But yeah, that's the deal as you're seeing it there. That band is also producing some extremely heavy wind. And you see that little cluster of lightning that's over the airport now. I bet you that's a little bit of a re-intensification of some of that wind and
that's
rain
what we were
there.
just looking about with, if you've been on in the last 15 minutes, Nick and I looked at velocity in this area, and we were looking at that brighter green color, and I'm going to actually pop it up and see if we can see it still, but that's what we were looking at about 15 minutes ago, because somebody mentioned in the Facebook group chat that they were noticing the wind was picking up. So I'm going to change it over to velocity.
Wind is horrendous in Midtown.
Which that does not surprise me.
You see these little specks of a bright kind of yellowy color there. That's wind gusting up to 50, 60 miles per hour here. There's also a little core. This is only a few feet off the ground, maybe about 100 feet off the ground there, 100, 200 feet off the ground in Dawes, and that's a very heavy wind as well. So velocity 64 over the bay. Midtown velocity 60, 48 miles per hour there, 40 miles per hour. So this band does contain some very, very strong wind. And a lot of people saying that even on our cameras that they can see that it is really rough right now. So if we can scroll down, I want to look at some of the cameras that we have. This here, what you're looking at, is
I'm just going to do a little bit of a tour with our cameras and what we're tracking right now. So here is a look at downtown Mobile. We're still seeing that heavy traffic going on. Looks like it's picked up a little bit going towards the Bayway, which is a good sign there. Originally it was stopped more, especially in the last 5 minutes. We are taking a look at it, and then the camera is just shaking a lot. It's getting to the point where somebody's probably getting nauseous looking at it. But let's go to our next camera. This is the USS Alabama at this time, and is that pooling water right there?
Yeah, that's all pooling water. Now, of course, at the battleship, that is just open field, so that's going to happen. Also, look at your wind direction right now. That wind direction blowing pretty strong out of the west there. So, I mean, these cameras really giving us a good view of what's happening. You can see the rain streaking across the lenses there.
And then traffic going towards Daphne is looking decent at this time, which is good news. So we're getting some luck in regards to that. But let's move to our next camera. This is from Daphne.
Yeah, so this is, of course, our camera that is at the Hampton Inn. If you've driven across the bay, you know Hampton Inn, Daphne. You go across there, you see it on Interstate 10 if you're driving eastbound. That's looking towards eastbound Interstate 10. Nice to see that it's actually moving, but the rain is just terrible right now.
And now this is another look into downtown Mobile, but from the moon pie. Still a lot of rain. We're seeing it come onto the camera there. Nothing too significant to look at on this one specifically. Let's go into still seeing that traffic. Look at that wind. You're seeing it again.
Little sheets blowing through there. And actually, real quick, I want to swap real quick. I want to get some information on power outages as well there. So let me go through, and I think I'll do it like this. On my phone there, but also a lot of people reporting power outages, and that is a major issue as well.
And you may see some technical difficulties that are going on right now. We're making the transition from our live stream to our 4 o'clock show. So
that is not going over, by the way. So what you're seeing there, that is not going over. It's still us. So yeah, I'm monitoring the feed there. So right now we're preparing for our 4 o'clock show. So they are running through some of that right now. But what we see on radar right now is very, very rough. And look at the lightning that's there and the velocity, checking it in. I mean, it's just very, very bright. And I'll query some of this. And Hannah, while I'm querying some of this, I'm going to look here at the outage map.
Yeah, we're seeing 60 miles per hour in this one area just off to the east of Saraland, 46, 54, and then just south of Dawes, right north of Grand Bay. Actually, no, it's to the west of Grand Bay. We're seeing 54 mile per hour wind gusts. So the wind is not letting up, and would not be surprised if we start seeing wind damage. And if you are seeing wind damage, please send that in to us using the Fox 10 weather app. You can scroll all the way down. There's a big blue box that says submit your pictures and videos here. It is a key tool for us. That's how we kind of give you a visual on what we're seeing using radar picture, but also it is good for the National Weather Service. After this event, they will do a breakdown on wind damage, tornado damage possible as well. It's been a very active day. We've been quite busy since probably about 8 o'clock this morning. We have not gone off air, which rightfully so. We have a lot of flooding. We have dangerous winds. We still have that tornado watch in place as well. And Nick, are you seeing anything on the Slack chat? What are you seeing over there?
I was able to get the outages up here. I'm just going to kind of commentate what I'm seeing. There are a lot of outages right now across Mobile County here. There's some that 300 customers, some 2,000 customers. So it just really depends on where you are. But a good chunk of Mobile County seeing power outages here, and trying to look, maybe get the total number here in the county. I might have to switch sources here. But all of that is because of all of this. It's because of the strong wind. So it looks like in Mobile County right now, outages total of last update, 11,000 customers out, and almost 11,000 of those Alabama Power customers that are out right now. So that's the situation. A lot of folks are out of power, or power is flickering, surging as this strong wind continues.
And then I wanted to point out, we're hearing it right now. So you know how we were talking about this one area where, what did you say, it was back building, the one that's over Dawes where all this lightning is being produced? We're hearing it move over the Fox 10 studios right now. I heard the wind and the rain pick up once again. It's producing quite a bit of lightning, and you can kind of see its form over. So if you look at this area right here, there's all that lightning that just kind of combined with the already formed thunderstorm that was moving off to the west there. So it's a very rowdy situation over Mobile. If you are in Mobile right now, you probably are hearing it. And if you're on the roadways, you're probably seeing the wind move with. Here's a live look outside of our station right now. You can see the wind is picking up there. We're continuing to see issues there. And you can see some of the sheets of rain going over our camera there. But luckily, we're not seeing issues with visibilities like we were on other cameras. So that's good there. A lot of people are still out on the roadways. If you're wondering where we're located, this is near Costco and Dick's Sporting Goods. That's a hotel that is being built across the street. And we actually saw when the winds picked up, construction materials blowing off of that building, probably when we were seeing about 60, 65, maybe even possibly 70 mile per hour wind gusts just an hour ago.
Lightning as well there.
Yes, so this is what the pictures look like probably the last hour or so. And then it's been, it is, and it's knocked our power out 3 times now. So we are in with those people that have lost power. Thankfully, we have a generator, and the generator is working overtime at this point. So
and this camera view is from McGowan Park off Interstate 65 near the Topgolf in Mobile. By the way, TikTok chat, y'all need to calm down. I'm watching, we have about 600 people watching on TikTok right now. For those that are wondering and are watching us from a more national view, since we are here in live streaming, we are in Mobile, Alabama is where this is broadcasting from. Nicholas Urboso, Hannah Fink, Jason Smith, we're all here. They have a team of meteorologists tracking the remnants of Arthur. Right now, we cover the Mobile, Pensacola area. Our rain is focused in Mobile and Baldwin counties in southwest Alabama, and also portions of the lights are doing a dance. Jackson County in Mississippi, and also northwest Florida here, and a lot of heavy rain falling here. So this is eventually going to get to the Pensacola area soon. So a lot of people vacationing down there in Pensacola and keeping an eye on it. Right now, it's been actually a pretty quiet day as we expected down there, but eventually I
give Pensacola probably an hour. It's not. I give them probably an hour, hour and a half. This is not a very fast-moving storm. This line is not fast moving at all, and we're also still tracking what's going on from, there's a lot of lightning off to our southwest that's making its way into Pascagoula, Bayou La Battery. Cover your ears soon. It's probably going to start getting really loud for you in about probably 30 minutes as we're tracking another thunderstorm moving through the area. And here's a live look from Orange Beach. We're starting to see a little bit of the rain for it. See, if you see in the top left of your screen there, you can see a little bit of fuzziness. I think that's some rain that's beginning to fall. What do you think, Nick?
I mean, it looks very light. I mean, looking at the reflectivity, there's a little bit near the coast there. I told y'all, though, as we were looking at yesterday, and we all said this, the coastal areas may take a long time before it really gets rain. Actually, the rain just got to downtown Fairhope in Baldwin County. So this is really taking its time here. But the coastal areas right now, as you just saw from that camera view was down here at Orange Beach, Alabama. Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, common vacation spots. Surf is absolutely awful out there right now. Waves are
You can see
huge.
that on our Orange Beach camera. Besides the rain, the flash flooding, the damaging winds, we also want to harp on the rip current risk. A lot of people are visiting us because it's summer break. A lot of people are trying to find ways to cool off. We also have people that have just moved down here that aren't really aware of the rip current risk. So as you can see, you see all the white there along the beaches. That is not good. You see how fast they're moving? It almost looks like jet skis are going towards the coastline. That is not something you want to mess with. That's the best way I can describe it, because a lot of people don't understand what a rip current is or what it looks like, just because looking at water can be a little complicated. But all that white there, that is not good. You see it coming in way offshore. That is coming in really fast, and that can take you out. Somebody who is a tall, muscular person, they could get swept under real quickly from something. It's not just babies and children and pets we're worried about. It is grown adults too that can be taken out from this. So please do not get into the water. We have already had a rip current related death yesterday. It is very unfortunate. It is, our hearts are with the family there. But that is one thing to note there. This is the #1 killer along the Gulf Coast, and that is why we're seeing a high surf advisory issued until 6 o'clock tonight. And part of that is because we're seeing the remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur. It has churned up our Gulf quite a bit. We already had the high risk of rip currents just because we had southerly flow. We're seeing that wind change here. You can see that there. 26 mile per hour wind gusts in Pensacola right now.
Gulf Shore Sensor is out.
Not surprised there. 33 miles per hour in Mobile. We're still seeing that southerly flow. Certain areas you're starting to see the wind change. You can see it in Leakesville, Loosedale, Bruton as well. We're going to see that as that line moves on through the area. But southerly flow, you see how the wind is doing this? That's not something we like to see, because it contributes to our rip current risk. Then on top of that, the remnants have also contributed to churning up the Gulf.
Jason, you swapped it over to Traffic Tracker. Is there anything?
Did not mean to. Inadvertent click. I'll let you drive.
Okay, I was like, is there something else? Okay, here's Traffic Tracker real quick.
Well, we'll talk about it because it's still quite significant.
So.
Okay. So what you're seeing, this is just terrible. Everybody's trying to squeeze through one spot.
And you can see all this purple right here. That's closure. The entire eastbound causeway is closed. Don't even get on the causeway in general. If eastbound struggling, westbound is struggling as well. Avoid the causeway. The further away from water you can get, the better. I feel like that's going to be the best advice you can get for today, especially with flooding. This is a look at our Futurecast, 4 p.m. as of right now, which will be happening in about 5 minutes.
This is where the band is. This is where, what we talk about when we look at these forecast models, these high-res ones, we talk about initialization. Is the forecast model reading what is happening right now? And I just want to go through this. This will be the last thing we do before we start Fox 10 News at 4. I'm going to roll through this. Notice that there's a redevelopment of rain showers behind that line.
And this is new too. It's now starting to produce purple, which is much higher cloud tops in the atmosphere, which means we could get some stronger storms right around sundown. Obviously, we don't see the sun right now, but that's one thing that we contribute to thunderstorm development is daytime heating, and we didn't get much of that today, but there's still so much instability in the air.
That's 1 a.m. and we still have rain showers happening across the central part of our area. So those of you asking when is this going to end, it's going to take a while for this rain to get out of here. I think by Friday morning things calm down. If you're trying to get out on Friday morning, the roads are still going to be soaked, but you'll be able to get out. And then, as you can see, by Friday later on in the day, we start to see some more development. So how far are we from Fox News at 4, by the way?
We should be wrapping up right about now. So we'll have a more detailed breakdown on this coming up in a couple of minutes, where we will have Fox 10 coming up at 4 p.m.